in a long time, but it's the Cobb County School Board who made the decision this week to stop broadcasting public comments during their meetings. We got to give people an opportunity to express their First Amendment rights.
Brian?
My winner in this attention economy that we have is Hank Johnson for breaking through on the Jeffrey Epstein case with his song. Likewise, my loser is Hank Johnson because the song just simply wasn't that good.
Oh, don't do Hank like that. Hank,
It wasn't that good.
Keep playing your guitar. I love Hank.
It was not a catchy tune. I wasn't singing it in the bathroom.
The only black man that can't do music.
Have a good week. Day job.
Hello, good morning. My name is Judea Murray. I'm here with our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. Thank you so much for joining us for your morning headlines and everything that's going on around the metro Atlanta area. But let's start with the weather. What can you tell us about our forecast today?
It's going to be hot. That's about it. That's just the usual summertime stuff. So here's the deal. We're seeing some scattered showers out there this morning. Let me take you over to Fox 5 Live Viper and show you that mainly on the west side of town, and particularly Haralson County, we've seen some heavier downpours, but those are really fading away here over the last little bit. Take you down in towards Villa Rica. In fact, the showers just barely making it to Villa Rica. But heads up if you're near downtown Douglasville, also northern Cleburne County over in Alabama. That's one of our counties here at Fox 5. Looking at a couple showers over there. So I think we're going to hit a lull for a little bit, but then we're going to pick up just a couple more showers for the afternoon. We only got down to 77 this morning here in Atlanta. It was a warm overnight. That means here we are at 9 o'clock. Feels like, or it is 80 degrees. Feels a little warmer than that thanks to the humidity. Today's high temperature about 92. Look down towards Lake Oconee, 96 in Eatonton, 94 in Thomaston. So your outdoor forecast today, it's going to be a great day to be outside. It's going to be plenty warm. The pool's going to be great. The lake's going to be great. The river's going to be great. We have a very slim chance of rain. That's only going to be at about 20%, and it's going to feel pretty hot, right? Upper 90s, even maybe a low 100 at times through the afternoon. Our peak heat index in Atlanta should be about 99, something similar for tomorrow, but then the mercury and the thermometer inches up there on Tuesday to 96. That's going to push our heat index to 101. I would expect to see a heat advisory probably south and east of the city there for Monday. But for today, by and large, most people will stay dry. You see only a couple of scattered showers out there. There is a wedge set up to the north tomorrow. That's that cold front you see in the Charlotte area. Unfortunately, that is not going to make it to Metro Atlanta. We will be looking at showers and storms through the afternoon, through the evening, before we eventually put them to bed right around sunset. So there's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast now. Mid-90s for the next couple of days, and then we cool down to a chilly 91 there for Wednesday. 60% chance of storms there. But you look at the 7-day forecast here in Judea as summertime comes to an end, at least in terms of the school breaks. I think today is going to be a great day to soak in every bit you can because that rain chance is going to be relatively low.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you had the pool graphic in there because, yes, today is probably the perfect day to get out there on the water. Another thing is, I'm not so mad at this 7-day.
Oh,
I mean, Tuesday,
it is July.
Yeah, but
right?
Yeah, for a July in Georgia, I feel like this is not that bad.
Exactly. And if you ever want to compare, like places where it could be worse, I've got some friends who work down in coastal Georgia, and I saw them posting their heat index forecast through the day. They're going to be like 108, 110, 111. Goodness. So at least it's not that bad, not that hot here in North Georgia.
Cooking here.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Just a little sizzle. We're on like medium. They're on hot.
Medium is how I like my steaks too. It's perfect. Yep. All right, well, thank you so much for giving us a look at our forecast. We are going to get you guys some of the major headlines, things that are happening right here at home, starting with our reporter, Lindsay Tuman, who has been covering a deadly incident, as we know, right here in Atlanta. Lindsay, can you tell us a little more about this murder?
Yes, good morning, Judea. This happened yesterday morning. We first brought it to you as breaking news on Good Day Atlanta. A man shot and killed outside of the Greyhound bus station on Forsyth and Garnett Streets. Happened around 5:30 Saturday morning. Atlanta police say they got a call to that area about a person shot, and when they got there on the scene, found a man who'd been shot multiple times. A family actually identified him to us as 44-year-old DeAnthony Reeves, and they tell us he had 12 children and 8 stepchildren and was a loving father and family member. Now they're trying to figure out exactly who hurt their loved one, who shot and killed him, and why.
Free spirit, love to have fun. He just like for the party. He loved. My Instagram up to almost 2,000-3,000 people saying they miss him, they love him, they sorry.
Yeah, and last night they actually held a small gathering in that same area outside of the bus station, exactly where he was killed, trying to honor his life, pay their respects. And at this time, there are still a lot of questions about what exactly happened. Atlanta police have not released any details about a potential person of interest or suspect in this case. They also have not released any information about what led up to this shooting, but as soon as we have more information, of course, we'll keep you updated. But for now, that's the very latest live out here in downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman for Good Day Atlanta.
Lindsay, beautiful job covering the story, getting us the updates that we needed this morning. A lot of people have been watching this particular story online, so I appreciate that. If we can come back into studio, there are some other headlines that I want to get you from around the metro Atlanta area. This is another shooting. We'll start with another shooting, unfortunately, here in Georgia. The family of a man who was killed in Carrollton, Georgia, says that he was trying to turn his life around. The victim, we have now identified him as 46-year-old Tyrone Boykin. He died Friday afternoon after being shot in the 100 block of Magnolia Street. You just got a look at him. Now, his aunt admits that her nephew was previously in the streets, but she claims that he had turned himself around and was trying to change and make a better life for himself and his family. And so now the family is begging for this sort of violence to end. Let's take a listen.
I pray that these kids that is still out here in this world will take a good look at what just happened and will try to change their life.
Now, she did say kids. There were 3 teens that you saw very briefly on your screen. One of them was identified as Joshua Davis. He's 17 years old. We also have Kamari Farmer, who is 18 years old. There is a third teen who has not been pictured. He's only 15. All right, now, just honestly speaking, out of curiosity, do you think that the person that you are today, could stand up and face some of the people that have hurt you the most in your life? Because community members in the Southeast Atlanta area came together for just that. It was a unique forum on gun violence. So not only were there victims in the crowd and survivors, but they were alongside some former gun violence perpetrators. Atlanta City Councilman Antonio Lewis was there. He says these kinds of events are crucial and help prevent gun violence. Let's listen in on him.
We've seen a 22% drop in crime in Zone 3 and District 12 in particular, and this is how. It's partnerships like the partnership with POD, the partnership with One Way Youth, the partnership with Mothers Against Gang Violence. That way the goal is not to lock our way up out of this situation. And so that's us doing this.
All right, and another headline that we are covering, this one comes from Cobb County. Last weekend, a former Cobb County officer and a father of 3 died while vacationing off the South Carolina coast. Now, officials say that he was Chase Childers. He was helping rescue 5 swimmers when he unfortunately went under himself and didn't resurface. Now, the community has come out in droves to support his wife and his children. A GoFundMe created for them has already surpassed $200,000. Now, what's kind of extra bittersweet about this whole thing is that Childers actually received a life-saving award while he was still alive during his time serving with the Cobb County Police Department. It's clear that, he lived up to the big shoes that he had to fill. Also, here on the home front, if we're going to switch to what could be considered some great news for Atlanta public school employees. we learned that frontline staff will be getting a pay raise. Now that includes bus drivers, custodians, and paraprofessionals. Now let's be honest, guys, these are usually the unsung heroes of our school system, if we're being honest, and as they're getting a 10% salary bump. Now, school nurses will also receive a little something. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly how much their raise is going to be, but I did hear it will be going up. And you're probably wondering, well, what about the teachers? What about the educators? We've previously reported that APS teachers will be getting an 11% raise as well. We didn't forget anybody. All right, you guys, we have a couple of pretty cool events happening right here in the Metro Atlanta area. One of them is happening at one of the convention centers. We have the Atlanta Comic and Pop Culture Convention. So if you think there are probably people out there cosplaying, we probably got a lot of comic books. We sent our Eli Jordan out there to get us a look at what's happening. Eli, what's going on this morning?
Hey, good morning, Judea. I was scared at first. I didn't get my mics working, and I was frightened that I was not going to be able to go live, but I got the mics working. At least I hope they're working. Yeah, I'm down here at the Georgia World Congress Center. I'm at the Atlanta Comics Convention, and it's really cool. There's all sorts of really groovy pop culture things down here along with the comics, and I am here with the Atlanta Comics Convention Marketing Director, Chelsea Stoker. Hello, Chelsea.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, all right. Not too bad. And so you guys have been here since Friday, right?
We have, yes. We opened our doors Friday at 12:30.
And so, I mean, how has it been busy?
It has. It's been busy. We're on track to have our biggest year yet, so that's always exciting.
So tell me, how long you guys been come doing Atlanta?
Yeah, so we started in 2018, but with COVID and different things, it's been kind of a infant show. So it's been fun to watch it grow.
So, I mean, I guess, it's getting its footing now and having a good year this year. So,
yeah.
So tell me, what is the difference between, Atlanta Comic Convention and something like a Dragon Con, I guess?
Yeah, they both have similar elements to them, and Dragon Con's so fun, and we love them too. But we have, a lot more. We have like over 75 celebrities, but we also have the vendors and the panel programming, and of course the cosplay, which everyone loves.
Gotcha. And so, I mean, yeah, like you said, you got vendors and stuff. This is the comic convention booth, right?
Yeah.
And this has, y'all's paraphernalia and things like that of the convention. And you guys also have just like, you can walk around here a little bit, just all sorts of other vendors going on. Tell me, what kind of celebrities do you have here today?
Yes.
Or have had.
We had Kiefer Sutherland. He did leave yesterday, though, to catch a flight. But we've had Rainn Wilson, Brandon Rogers, Mira Sorvino, Lou Ferrigno, which we'll talk to in a little bit. We have people from all different fandoms. Really, there's something for everybody. And so, today's the last day, correct? Correct. We end at 5 today, but you still have a chance to come down and see everything. And just tell me, I mean, how many vendors do you have, would you say? We have over 200 vendors, and they range from, local favorites to people who travel all over the United States putting these on. And what's the clientele been like? Have you had a lot of cosplay people dressing up and coming in here? And, yes, I have seen some of the most amazing cosplay. We had a guy in full Iron Man suit yesterday with working everything. People are just so talented. And have you had any furries come in here? I've seen a couple. Everyone's welcome here, so that's what makes it beautiful. And just tell me, I mean, there's more than just comic books here. I mean, what makes this, exciting for, the appeal, I guess? It's just a lot of times people feel like their fandoms, they're left out or they're strange or they're weird. And this is just kind of a beautiful multiverse where people, from K-pop to anime to The Office can all come together and just celebrate pop culture and comics and all the things that we love. Yeah, this is like a very, looks like Japanese kind of influence, with the backpacks and the anime stuff and all that. We got the Smurfs over there and they got a big movie coming out. Real quick, so tell me one more time, this is going on till 5 p.m. today. 5 p.m. today. If somebody wants to come down here and check it out, it costs a little bit to get in, correct? It does, yes. But we made you a special promo code FOX, F-O-X, and that will save you 30%. So you can get in for $21 today. Oh, promo code FOX. Yes, and kids 10 and under are free too, so families can come down and enjoy it. Oh, awesome. Well, that's cool. Well, yeah. So last day, you get a little discount. Come on down here, and if you watch our streaming, you'll know the promo code. Yes. So who are we going to be talking to today? I know we're getting like maybe Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk. He's coming. We'll be talking to him later on. Ross Marquand from The Walking Dead. Right on.
And I guess I might have to go check out some comic books
Yeah,
soon.
we'll have to go check them out.
Yeah, because I have my own personal collection. I want to kind of compare them to what I have. Well, Judea, that's what's going on down here at the Georgia World Congress Center. The last day of the Atlanta Comic Convention. People, vendors are just now starting to get down here and reopen up their booths for the last time this weekend over here at the Atlanta Comic Convention. And promo code FOX if you go online. And what's the website again?
atlcomicconvention.com.
atlcomicconvention.com, promo code FOX. You get a discount to come on down here on the last day. It should be a real humdinger because there's tons of vendors out here, and we'll be having some celebrities coming up soon. Judea?
Yeah, Eli, I'm already excited. I know next time we come back out to you, it's probably going to be pretty busy in there. I just want our viewers to know, yes, it is quiet. You saw a couple of the vendors covered up, but please don't let that fool you. This place gets packed pretty quickly. If I'm not yeah, go ahead.
The doors don't open until 10. So
yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Today.
Yep, we are a little bit early. We're just giving you that preview. Chelsea was a great way to start all of this out. Another thing that I want to say, I feel pretty exclusive that she gave us our own coupon code or discount code, so that's pretty good. Go ahead and put in FOX when you're trying to get your ticket, and you will get a discounted entry. It's pretty awesome. All right, Eli, I'm going to break away from you now, but listen, when we come back to you, I already know it's going to be insane. But before then, coming up after this break, we're going to run through some of the trending headlines around you. We'll also be talking a little bit about how do you stay safe when you are at the airport and you're just trying to get your device charged. We'll have more on that when we come back after this break. Hey guys, welcome back into Fox Local. I'm your host, Judea Murray. Now, not too long ago, the TSA put out a new warning saying that those USB ports that you see out in the airport or really anywhere else out in the public are more dangerous than they are convenient. They're warning against a phenomenon called juice jacking. And so to help us unpack what that is, why it's so harmful, and how you can protect yourself is internet security expert Eric Flam. Eric, welcome to Fox Local.
Thank you, Judea. Happy to be here.
So I asked around the newsroom before we began this interview, and everybody looked at me like I had 10 heads. What is juice jacking?
Yeah, well, first, it sounds like a cool and innocent term, doesn't it? But it's actually quite dangerous. And the idea is that we're always on our smartphones and our tablets, and they constantly run out of electricity, out of power. And so we're always looking for places to plug in. And one thing that people forget is that those USB cables that we use to charge our smartphones also carry data. That's half the point of those cables. And so when you're plugging in to charge, let's say at an airport or a bus station or a hotel or a cafe, then your view is, hey, I'm just getting power here. But what could be happening is data could also be transferred. And there are hackers out there who have figured out exactly how to do this.
Okay, so we talk about data. What exactly are these hackers looking for when they try to steal your information?
Yeah, so just about anything. They're looking for your personal and financial records, anything they can get their hands on that tie you to your bank accounts and all your other logins. So what a lot of people don't think about is that your personal and financial information is valuable to hackers. On the dark web, personal information could be worth up to $1,000. So hackers are actively seeking to grab this data wherever they can from you, your personal information, and then go out and sell it to somebody who's going to try to do something fraudulent with that data.
Goodness. All right, well, I thought about it myself. I think that I heard about this a couple of years ago because I remember specifically that I stopped using those USB ports. But the TSA is putting their warning out now. Why do you think now in particular is so important to them?
Well, really, people are traveling now more than ever. And so they're getting onto airplanes, they're going through airports, staying in hotels. And so because the volume of travelers is so high, also the potential for fraud and for grabbing your data will also increase. I think that's why the warning got put out there for preparation for the summer travel season.
To your knowledge, are there a lot of real world cases where this has happened, or is it more so like a theoretical, let's make sure we tell you that this could happen to you so that it doesn't happen to anyone?
Well, yeah, so it's a good question. It's an identified security threat. And we really don't know how often this happens. And the reason we don't is it happens quietly. There's no notification on your phone or your tablet or your laptop that you've been hacked. When you plug it in, it could be, it's that is actually one of the goals of the hacker is to not let on that you have been hacked. Because if you let on as a hacker that the person's being hacked, then that customer, that consumer at the end of the day who's trying to charge your phone is going to end up changing all their passwords and becoming more security aware. So it's a quiet threat. So really when these warnings get issued, it's to show people that that threat is possible and it exists.
So realistically, not only could this have happened to you already, but you really wouldn't even know if you were a victim until it's way too late.
That's really true. And the thing is, there are very, very easy ways to prevent this from happening. So the first one is that you could actually if you use your AC adapter, so the actual plug that goes into the wall plug, if you use that instead of just simply plugging your USB into a USB jack, that alone cuts off the data access. So you're safe. That's the easiest way to do it. I know it sounds tempting to travel with just simply your USB cable, but when you actually plug it into the wall, even though it's hard to find a plug sometimes, that is a surefire way to protect yourself. There are also other specific kinds of cables and adapters that prevent the data flow. You can just go online and find these. They exist. And so this is another way by blocking the data but allowing the power to get through. That's another way to do it. And the third way that we recommend is to get a power bank. They tend to be inexpensive. They're very secure. You charge it before your trip, And then you've got plenty of power, and you can feel very, very confident that your data is not going to be stolen that way.
Beautiful. I actually brought some props with me. The only thing that I don't have is that power bank, but I'll have to go to the store and get one, especially if it can keep me safe.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, are any devices immune? Obviously your phone is one of the ones that they're looking for, and that's where they'll get their information. But if you're using iOS or Android, are any of them safe?
Really, none are immune. And the thing to think about is if you're a hacker, you're always trying to stay ahead of the smartphone manufacturers, the software companies. And so that is really where the threat comes from. Is it's sort of like a cat and a mouse game, where you've got security experts trying to stay ahead of hackers and hackers trying to get ahead of security experts. And so I would say that really it's best to have the assumption that your device is not safe, and therefore to take a few simple measures to give yourself that protection.
Okay, cool. Now, looking ahead for those who are going to be out there traveling pretty soon, is there any way that you can tell that the port that you're plugging into isn't a safe one? Are there any telltale signs that we can look out for?
Well, if the hacker has done a very good job, they can disguise the ports. Somehow that hacker would have to have a way to get the data from wherever that plug is, out to their own laptop or through the network. And so there would have to be either some hardwired evidence or some kind of a transmitter. So I think the idea here is that with a quick look, you will not be able to tell. It's the same concept as those credit card skimmers that can be found on ATMs and convenience stores, where you really believe you innocently put your ATM card in and punch in your PIN, and because it looks so realistic, your data can be stolen. Same thing is, the better the hacker, the less telltale there will be that you're being hacked.
Okay, noted. Try to keep that in your mind moving forward. Like you said, using your block is probably the best way to avoid, other than the other tips that you gave us. Now, I want to ask, besides the USB ports, are there any other tech threats that we should be looking out for when we're out in public?
There really are. I would say almost more dangerous is the threat of using public Wi-Fi.
That's a good one.
When you use public Wi-Fi, let's say at a cafe or a hotel or even possibly an airport, there's an attack called the evil twin attack. It sounds very nefarious, but what it is that a hacker could be sitting nearby with their laptop open and transmitting a Wi-Fi signal that is legitimate. It will really give you Wi-Fi access, but they've named it to be something similar to where you are. So just as an example, let's say your favorite neighborhood cafe is Ace Cafe, and they have Wi-Fi, and you go there and you work every now and then. Well, there could be another person nearby with a laptop that also created the name Ace Cafe for their Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can be connecting to that. And then the reason they call it evil twin is it looks just like a legitimate hotspot, but there will be a hacker intercepting your data. So Wi-Fi is another thing to look out for. And again, there are measures that are not that complicated to ensure that you can secure your data.
Ooh, I'll be looking out for those evil twins. Thank you for that tip. Now, obviously, all of what you research and all of that you study is not simple, but I really appreciate you being able to break it down for us and our audience. For those of you who are out there streaming with us, of course, we wish you safe travels, but also safe charging. It's a shame that, we are just trying to get powered up, but you have to be very careful. So, Eric, thank you so much for your time. For you guys out there, we're going to get you a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. I'm going to be your host for the next couple of hours. Thank you so much for joining me. And speaking of our stream, I have been watching the YouTube comments already. First of all, y'all pulled up in numbers. I appreciate that. Good morning to all of you. A special shout out to Emily watching. We have Lizzie. And then we also have G Money. Those are the people writing in the comments right now. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for staying with us. Hey, let's take a look at what's trending right now around the world, especially what's important to our viewers, starting with the latest on the Epstein files. If you have been keeping up at all with this case, you know it has been pretty messy. This whole debacle between the Trump administration and the public. Here's what we know as of now. As of Friday, President Donald Trump has asked a federal court to unseal secret documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's case. Now, he believes that this will make it more transparent of what's going on and maybe even absolve him of any wrongdoing. But here's the thing, not everyone is satisfied. Some people say that whatever does get released soon isn't going to be everything. So how much do we know? And, I don't know the answer to that question, but if you are new at all to this somehow, some way, Epstein killed himself behind bars while he was still waiting trial in 2019. All right, moving forward with another headline, President Donald Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal. Now, it's worth it to mention that this comes after the Wall Street Journal published an article describing what it claims to be and I quote, sexually suggestive letter from around Epstein's 50th birthday, and that letter happens to bore President Trump's name. Now, Trump not only denies writing the letter, but he claims that all of this is false, malicious, and defamatory. And so he's opted in to sue the Wall Street Journal for $10 million. We will definitely be looking forward to seeing how that turns out. Now, here is a headline, a video that all of you have probably seen. It's gone viral, and I know there are at least 2 people in this world that wish it would be put to bed. So, the Jumbotron from the Coldplay concert. When you take a closer look at it, it's supposed to be a kiss cam. It lands on what appears to be a happy couple, but all of a sudden they duck and hide from the screen. And then Coldplay's frontman, Chris Martin, jokes that the couple is either having an affair or just very shy. And it turns out that the guy on the left is Astronomer CEO Andy Byron, and the woman on the right that you just saw was Kristen Cabot, the company's head of HR. Now, yesterday, Byron resigned, so he is no longer the CEO. There has been no word yet on Cabot's stat in the company. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Is this that big of a deal? There are rumors that maybe they really were having an affair, but how would you have handled this if you were in this situation? Camera comes on you, you weren't expecting it, and you feel a little weird about it. Now, moving forward, last week, Beyonce had her Cowboy Carter tour, and after it, an escalator failed, it malfunctioned, and injured quite a few people. The Dogan family claims that the escalator collapse at the Vine City MARTA station was due to a mechanical failure. Meanwhile, MARTA says that it was actually a stampede. He and his family had just left the Cowboy Carter concert when the escalator suddenly gave way. MARTA says that at least 9 people were injured, and again, they say that this was the result of a stampede from panic. Well, our reporter Eric Perry spoke to the Dogans. Now, the father and husband, Henry Dogan, recalled that terrifying moment that he sacrificed himself to save his family. Take a listen.
Next thing you know, the escalator collapsed. It was a free fall. And it went down. It didn't go down slowly. It went down really quickly. All I could remember, or all I can think about doing, was trying to save my family. I tried to grab around and grab all of them. I was able to only grab my daughter and my wife, my 13, and my wife. My 18-year-old, she was up farther. And I whispered in my wife's ear as we was going down really fast. I said, get ready to jump. Because all I could think about, when it slammed into the ground, someone can die. And so as it was going down and as it hit the ground, it stopped. And everybody went forward, then back. So everyone tumbled on one another. My wife and everybody in the front, they tumbled on my leg. I heard my leg pop. It popped. It broke. And the people behind me, they stumbled onto me. My wife got injured. She injured her foot. My 13-year-old daughter, she got injured. And I tried to get up to help them, get their phones and stuff like that. But when I stood up, I fell back down because I couldn't put no pressure on my leg. So I rolled out the way. They got out the way and I rolled out the way. I remember waking up and looking on that hot ground because the ground was hot. The concrete felt like an oven. So all these injured people is basically sitting on a hot concrete ground. We sat there for over an hour and a half, but that's further. But I remember looking up. Blood was everywhere. Blood, earrings, cowboy hats, all over the ground. And people was crying. It's like a scene out of a movie. And it took the first responders basically almost 2 hours to get us up off the ground. And we was begging them, help us, help us, help us. To the point that me and law enforcement got into a real bad argument. I said, you see, all of us are injured. You guys are talking to us like we was just trash. That's how they were speaking to us. And I got very angry. I said, stop talking to us like that right now. I said, we're agitated, we're injured, and we're hot. I said, just get us up off the ground.
Yeah, and that soundbite was about 3 minutes long, but that entire interview was more like 18 minutes. I felt like Henry, gave a perfect description of what happened to him. And it turns out that once he did get home with his family, his wife actually was injured. He said when they woke up in the morning, her foot was swollen, and so they ended up taking her to the hospital as well. Clearly a traumatic experience for everyone involved. This family says they'll never ride MARTA again. What they say is most frustrating about all of this was the company's lack of apology. And so now the Dogan family is seeking legal action. All right, bringing it back into studio, let's look at what is trending right now in the area. But we do have major headlines right here on the home front with Lindsay Tuman, our reporter who has been out in downtown Atlanta after a father was killed yesterday. Lindsay, what can you tell us about this particular shooting incident?
Yeah, good morning, Judea. This all happened yesterday morning right outside the Greyhound bus station on Forsyth Street. Atlanta police got the call at around 5:30 in the morning about a person who'd been shot over there. When they got to the scene, they say they found a man who'd been shot multiple times. That man died on the scene there, and family members tell us that he was 44-year-old DeAnthony Reeves. They tell us that he was a loving father of 12 biological children, 8 stepchildren, all who he considered his own. They say that they actually gathered last night for a vigil right in the same area where detectives poured over that crime scene hours earlier. Loved ones saying that he had a big personality and there is a huge community who's going to miss him and also wants to see change in the wake of this senseless violence.
He wasn't just my baby brother. He's my hype man. You know? Every morning I'm looking for that call. It's gonna be hard for me and my family. If you can't walk in the airport with a gun, I don't feel you should walk in the Garnett with one either.
Yeah, well, at this time, Atlanta police have not released many details about what exactly happened, what led up to that deadly gunfire, or if they are searching for a person of interest or any kind of suspect information. As soon as we get those details, of course, we'll keep you updated. But for now, that's the very latest live here in downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Once again, this has been a story that our online audience has been extremely invested in. They wanted to know what was coming next and if there were going to be any arrests. We'll definitely be keeping them up to date as the stream goes on. Now, for the rest of y'all out here in Atlanta or the rest of Georgia, we want to get a look at our forecast, what's happening with the weather. So I'm going to pop it over to meteorologist Alex Forbes. Alex, take it away.
All right, Judea, already 80 degrees here in Atlanta, 81 over in Cobb County, 79 in Alpharetta, 80 in Winder, 81 in Monroe, and 82 in Covington. How about Eatonton? 9:41 in the morning, and it already feels like 85. That is the heat end, or it is 85, I should say, in Eatonton. It feels like 85 in Atlanta, 86 over in Marietta, already feels like 91 in Newton County, feels like 97 over in Eatonton at this hour. Now, through the day today, that heat index, it's going to be elevated. We're also going to be watching for a couple of scattered showers, take you up to Fannin and Gilmer counties. We've seen these develop here in the last little bit from really the west side of Blue Ridge down near Carter's Lake. That's going to be moving towards Cartagay, over towards Jasper, Amicalola Falls there in northern Dawson County in the next little bit. We've also seen showers this morning over on the west side. Some heavier downpours moving into parts of Haralson County and tried to move into Douglasville. Both of those showers have since faded away. So first pitch, we got the Yankees and the Braves. Temperatures, they're going to be in the upper 80s and low 90s. But of course, as we were just talking about, yeah, it's going to feel hotter than that. 135 is when things get underway there at Truist Park. It should be mostly dry, though. That rain chance only at about 20%. Here's how it shapes up on the hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures getting into the upper 80s and low 90s. There are a couple of scattered showers for the afternoon, and then that's going to do it for today. Most people will stay dry. Everybody, and I mean everybody, will be hot. Feels like 100 in Athens, 100 in Eatonton, 97 in Atlanta, 97 in Covington, and 96 over in Griffin. Through the overnight, of course, we see those numbers decrease, and then tomorrow they'll likely get a couple degrees warmer. Those cooler numbers and the oranges you see on that map, that would be some rain-cooled air. Here's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast as we work our way through the next several days. Hottest day at about 96. 60% chance of rain there for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then back down to 30 and 40% by the time we work our way towards Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but still feeling pretty warm with high temperatures in the mid-90s. Judea?
All right, beautiful, beautiful weather. Well, we hope for the rest of the day. We'll see what happens with the rest of the week. But this is good to know for those people who are trying to get out and do some cool things around our area. Speaking of which, coming up after this break, we will pop back out with our photographer, Eli Jordan, who has been covering Atlanta's Comic-Con. Today is a last call for it, the last day to get out there and have some fun. We'll get with him after this break. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. Like I mentioned before the break, we have a lot of cool activities around our area. The one that's in our area today is Atlanta's Comic and Pop Culture Convention, and we sent our photographer Eli Jordan out to check it out. Eli, I heard that you have a pretty cool interview coming up for us next as well.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of cool people here. There's all sorts of cool stuff here at the Atlanta Comics Convention at the Georgia World Convention Center, the big convention center next to the stadium. You know where it is. But there's a lot of cool things. And right now, I am with the Comics Convention MC, who gets to introduce all the cool people that you mentioned. And actually, he's kind of a well-known guy himself. I'm talking to Chris Provost.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, and so Chris,
yes,
you are emceeing here.
Yes.
And have you had a good time?
Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite weekends of the whole year, coming down here to the ATL Comic Convention. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of celebrities. The vendor hall is huge. There's all kinds of cool panels. It is just without a doubt, one of the best weekends of the year. Yeah, I've had a great time.
So you're introduced. Do you have a celebrity that you or a favorite that you've introduced, one that's coming up?
All of them. I love them all, but like Rainn Wilson from The Office was super fun to introduce. Kiefer Sutherland was great. Lou Diamond Phillips is awesome. Mira Sorvino's here. I mean, there's so many celebrities. Like we had Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor, and they're just all so fun. And we have the big Twilight panel for all the Twilight fans. And it's just always a joy to meet with them and talk with them. They're always so cool and so awesome.
Have you had a chance to look around and see the gifts and stuff?
Yeah, it's amazing. This vendor floor is huge. There's so many things that you can see. It's awesome. They got great artwork. They have local artists here, and they have also artists coming from all over the country. They have their amazing art on display. Cool things to see. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, we were standing here, and I was like, admiring this while we're waiting to go live. These are really cool.
I want to get the Squirtle.
Yeah. I mean, this is really nice here. So, so you have a YouTube channel yourself?
Yeah, I do.
And it's Park Pass, right?
Yeah, it's Park Pass. It's about, I travel around the world, go to all the different theme parks around the world, mostly Disney, and I help people like plan their trips, how to get the best discounts on tickets, if they want to know secrets. Like for example, here's a secret that we do on the video. Like Disneyland, they don't sell popcorn and churros in Adventureland because they worry the smell will take away from the ambience of being in Adventureland. So that's like all the little secrets that we have on our YouTube channel called Park Pass.
So, so you go to theme parks. Have you been to Six Flags over Georgia?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I go to all of them all around the world. It's one of my favorites, though.
Cool. And so, I guess what do they look up if they want to check out your channel?
Yeah, what's that?
What do they look up if they want to check out your channel?
If you want to check out the channel, just go to YouTube. Just type in Park Pass. I'll be right there at the top. So it's called Park Pass. And also, if you want to come down here to the ATL Comic Convention, it's going on today. It's going to be amazing, and you can see us in the ballroom with all the different celebrities. And come by and say hi.
So, do you have off the top of your head what celebrities are lined up for today?
Yeah, today we got
we got a marmot over there.
We got a marmot over there.
Nice marmot.
Yeah, there's so many different celebrities. We have we have Disney princesses are coming up. We have Mira Sorvino's coming up. I mean, there's just so many. You can't even take a stick at them because they're all over the place. It is so much. We had so many celebrities come out here because they love to meet the fans here in Atlanta. It's awesome.
So, is this your first time in Atlanta?
No, I love Atlanta. Atlanta is amazing. I absolutely love it down here.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's really, over the past 15, 20 years, exploded in kind of like a cultural center of the, Southeast. And, I mean, there's been more. We've always had Dragon Con, but, now we're getting things like, Comic Con here and, adding to that, just kind of expanding that genre, I guess.
Yeah, Atlanta's very popular because, of course, we had the Walking Dead panel as well. We had like 11 of the cast members from Walking Dead here because that's a very popular show here in Atlanta. And people love it. It's just a lot of fun. The people here are great.
So I guess when's your first introduction, or when you going to start?
I'm literally going to get down with this interview. I'm going to walk over to the ballroom and do some introductions here. We're starting off with some Disney stuff, Disney trivia, and it starts at 10 a.m. right off the bat.
Awesome, cool. I'm looking forward to it, and it looks like the people are starting to come in
here.
Yeah,
they're getting in here.
Getting, doors just opened up, or just now, well, not even quite. They open at 10, but there's some people getting here a little bit early, and you guys can come down here. It stops, today's the final day. At 5 o'clock, it shuts down. But if you go to the website and you put in promo code FOX, that'll give you a discount. So you don't have to pay the full price for today's last day of events here at the World Congress Center next to Mercedes-Benz Stadium at the Atlanta Comics Convention. So, you can get yourself a little discount there and come down here and just check out all the cool things. There's going to be some celebrities. We're going to have the Hulk later. And so this guy's got a snake here. Check this out, guys. Ooh, it's already getting wild. That's a pretty snake. So yeah, guys, you can just come on down here to the Atlanta Comics Convention and just check out and have yourself a wild time and get yourself a few cool things. And you know, this is a lot of really cool gift ideas down here. And you might meet a celebrity or two. Judea?
Eli, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought you were at the reptile convention once we saw that snake. Pretty cool stuff. You never know what you're going to see, who you're going to meet out and about when you are in the beautiful city of Atlanta. Thank you so much for this quick look at the convention. In about 8 minutes, those doors are going to open. People are going to flood in. We already see a couple of people getting their shopping in nice and early. But we will check back in with you a little later. But first, I want to tell you guys about some of the other cool events happening around our area. Tonight, there's actually going to be something called Unity Fest. It's all put together so that you can feel more connected to your neighbors. So there's going to be live music, food trucks, activities for the kids. But Judea, where is this going to happen? The Avenue, Peachtree City, out there in Peachtree City. It starts at 4 p.m. and it'll go on until 10 p.m. Best of all, guys, it's free. Also, today is National Ice Cream Day. What is your favorite flavor? There are a couple of discounts available for you, whether you want to go to Dairy Queen, Dippin' Dots. I know Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream's also doing something. The big thing is you're going to want to call before you actually get down there to your location, because only select locations are going to have these discounts. So either call ahead, or if you're bold and you want to just pop in, just ask the question, what's on sale, what's discounted for me today for National Ice Cream Day. As for me, my favorite ice cream is strawberry cheesecake with rainbow sprinkles, and it has to be on a waffle cone. I won't have it any other way. Now, coming soon to our area is, some of the other things that you can do around our area this weekend are online on our website at fox5atlanta.com. You can also go on Fox Local. Now, if you scroll down our website, you'll look for the Things to Do tab. Our digital content creator, Joyce Lupiani, puts these lists together every single week, and they are very thorough. So they're categorized, whether you're looking for something to eat, whether you want live music, activities, maybe you're interested in arts and crafts. There is something for everybody. And she'll list out where they are, what time it is, and she'll let you know whether they're free or not. Now, that's what's happening already, but here's something that is coming to our area pretty soon, Buckhead Restaurant Week. So if you are a foodie, this one sounds pretty good to you. They have restaurants for fine dining or laid back night outs in Buckhead. This starts July 21st and will run through the 26th. If you've never been to a restaurant week, I don't know if you live under a rock, but I'm going to try not to judge you. What they do is they'll have an exclusive menu, they'll have special prices, and pretty exciting, maybe even some performances and stuff like that. I've seen a couple of restaurants go the whole 9 yards. So you can go out to Aria, Nantai, Buckhead, Gypsy Kitchen, Southern Gentleman. There are plenty more. Cheeto and Padres and The Big Catch are doing it big right in the city, or the neighborhood of Buckhead. That aside, I am going to get you guys a quick break, but listen, when we come back from it, there is a pretty cool thing going on in our city. A centenarian, that means someone who's over either 100 or over the age of 100. She's turning 105, and not only is her family excited for her, but her church family is also excited. And we will try to get you a better look at, how you get to live this far, the beautiful things that she's done for her community. We'll have a little more of that when we come back from this break. Hey guys, welcome back into Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. This is Alex Forbes, our meteorologist, because we're starting off with a look at your weather forecast.
It's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, but we're not going to have as many showers and storms today across north and central Georgia. However, if you're in Gilmer County right now, Fannin County, Murray County, you are looking at some showers that's not going to last too much longer, and honestly, they're pretty isolated. So let me take you over to Fox 5 Live Viper and take you up to the north. We did see some shower activity in and around the metro about an hour and a half ago. Haralson County, Carroll, Douglas, Cobb counties got in on some of the showers, even down towards McDonough. But right now, this is going to be up into Murray County, Gilmer County, Fannin County. You see a couple pockets of some heavier rain in places like Blue Ridge or just outside of Blue Ridge. That's getting close to I think is how you say it, AI. That's going to be Bushy Head Road and Burnett. And then also down to the south, just to the north of Carter's Lake, looking at a pretty good downpour. That's just to the north of Highway 282. So moving towards Tails Creek here in the next little bit. Again, that is going to be on the other side of Ellijay. Otherwise, temperatures 79 already in Canton, 85. That is the actual air temperature now in Atlanta, 88 in Eatonton. Man, it's going to be a warm one today. 92 is where we're headed for the afternoon. 93 in Covington, 96 in Eatonton today. So get outside and enjoy it. All the water activities, do all of them. The jet ski, the tubing, the out on the lake, the floating down the river, the sitting by the pool, the getting in the pool, all of the above. It's going to be plenty hot for it, and we're going to be looking at low rain chances, which is why I'm thinking today is probably your day, especially looking at the calendar and seeing how few days of summer break there are left as temperatures find their way into the low 90s today. It's going to feel like the upper 90s and even maybe low 100s at times. This specific forecast here brings us a heat index of 100 at 5 o'clock. My forecast, I kept that at 99. It's amazing the psychological difference that is between 99 and 100. I just wanted to keep everybody happy, right? But as we look our way into the afternoon, 100 is certainly going to be possible in several spots, especially south and east of the city. This heat does not stop anytime soon. We are still going to have 99, 101, 98 as feels like temperatures, peak feels like temperatures Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The difference over the next couple of days, though, is going to be while today is mostly dry, you see only just a couple of green specks there, we will build up the activity beginning tomorrow, starting the day off dry, and then there's that summertime pattern at noon. I'm going to walk behind the weather set and flip the switch, and then there goes the showers and storms, 4 or 5 o'clock, and that will carry us through Monday evening as we work our way through the first day of the work week. Rain chances up to 60% there on Tuesday and Wednesday, down to 30% for Thursday. Still going to be hot, though. Our hottest day is 96 there on Tuesday, and then still warm, right? 91, 93, 94 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, that's going to come with high humidity as well.
Beautiful. That sounds fairly decent.
Right.
Now, Alex, I have a quick question for you. I'm not asking because I want it to happen, so
okay.
I'm not going to wait before I ask. But what would it take for us to get a heat advisory?
Yeah, so the criteria is several hours, 2 or 3 hours above 105, right? So even if the forecast just calls to touch 105, we need several hours of it in order to get the heat advisory issued for Atlanta. Now, those numbers are specific to certain National Weather Service offices. So that's the Peachtree City threshold for all of the counties they cover, which is most of the state of Georgia, right? If you're in upstate New York, if you're in Montana, that number is not 105. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it has a lower threshold depending on where you are.
Got you. And just double checking, it's not a feels like 100 plus, it is a actually 100 plus?
Well, yeah, no, so it would be the heat index.
Because the index is what it feels like.
Right.
Got you. All right, well, thank you for our forecast. We will check in with you a little bit later. Right. And before we let him go, there are some big things happening around the area. One of those big headlines has been being covered by our Lindsay Tuman, a father who was killed yesterday. There was a vigil also. Lindsay has been on this story. Lindsay, what can you tell us about this situation?
Hey, good morning, Judea. Yes, this happened in a pretty busy area of downtown Atlanta on Forsyth Street, right outside of the Greyhound bus station. That's exactly where police were called at around 5:30 yesterday morning in response to a person who'd been shot. And when officers got on the scene, they said they found a man who'd been shot multiple times. He died on the scene, and family members identified him to us as 44-year-old DeAnthony Reeves. They tell us he had 12 children, 8 stepchildren who who he also counted as his own. Family and friends gathered in the same area outside of that Greyhound bus station where detectives had pored over the scene for hours earlier in the day. Those loved ones gathered to both pay their respects and also say goodbye to a man who they say had a bigger than life personality and who loved his family.
Free spirit, love to have fun. He just like for the party. He loved. My Instagram up to almost 2,000-3,000 people saying they miss him, they love him, they sorry.
Yeah, and you could see by the big turnout at the vigil last night how many people were impacted by this loss, and many of them asking questions this morning: who did this and why? And that's what we're trying to learn from police as well. At this time, Atlanta police have not released any information about a person of interest or a suspect at this time. They also haven't given us any details about a potential motive behind this shooting. As soon as we get those, of course, we'll pass them along to you. But for now, that's the very latest live out here in downtown Atlanta. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Lindsay, thank you so much for this update. Now, unfortunately, that is not the only shooting that we are covering in our area. 3 teenagers have been arrested in Georgia in connection to a father's murder. We learned that the family of a man who was killed in Carrollton, Georgia, say that he was trying to turn his life around when all of this happened. The victim has been identified as Tyrone Boykin, who's 46 years old. Now, he died Friday afternoon after being shot in the 100 block of Magnolia Street. His mom, or excuse me, it was his aunt that talked to us. She admits that her nephew was previously in the streets, but she claims that he had changed his life, that he was trying to become better for himself, for his family. And unfortunately, this just happened way too soon in his life. The family is now begging for this sort of violence to end. Let's take a listen.
I pray that these kids that is still out here in this world will take a good look at what just happened and will try to change their life.
Now, she did say kids. These are teenagers. The 2 that you see on your screen, Joshua Davis, 17, Kamari Farmer, 18. There is a 3rd teen who is not pictured. He's only 15 years old. Now, just out of curiosity for you guys watching out there, answer honestly. Do you think the person that you are today could stand to face someone who hurt you tremendously in the past? Because that's what a forum right here in the city of Atlanta is designed to do. So community members in Southeast Atlanta came together for a unique forum on gun violence. Not only were there victims and survivors out there in the crowd, but they were standing alongside former perpetrators of gun violence. Atlanta City Councilman Antonio Lewis was also there, and he says these kinds of events are crucial and that they help prevent gun violence. Let's take a listen.
We've seen a 22% drop in crime in Zone 3 and District 12 in particular, and this is how. It's partnerships like the partnership with POD, the partnership with One Way Youth, the partnership with Mothers Against Gang Violence. That way the goal is not to lock our way up out of this situation. And so that's us doing this.
Now, on to a pretty bittersweet story. Last weekend, a former Cobb County officer, who's also the father of 3 beautiful children, died while vacationing off the South Carolina coast. Officials say that the victim was identified as Chase Childers. He helped rescue 5 swimmers before he went under in the ocean himself and unfortunately never resurfaced. The community has already come out in droves, though, to support his wife and his children. It's been pretty beautiful. A GoFundMe created for them has already surpassed $200,000. Now, like I said, this story is bittersweet, not only because of the money that has been raised, but Childers actually received a life-saving award during his time while he was alive, serving with the Cobb County Police Department. So clearly, he lived up to that. Now, for employees at the Atlanta Public School District, this is great news. Frontline staff will be getting a pay raise. Now, that frontline staff includes bus drivers, custodians, and paraprofessionals. Usually, these are the people who go unnoticed, and they're letting them know, no, you are very important to our school district. So they're getting a 10% salary bump. School nurses will also receive a little something. And I know a lot of you watching out there, especially if you are an educator yourself, are like, well, what about the teachers? Don't worry, we have previously reported that APS teachers are getting a raise as well. All right, coming back into studio, there are some pretty cool events happening around the metro Atlanta area. We sent our Eli Jordan to one of them at the convention center out here in Atlanta. It is the Atlanta Comic and Pop Culture Convention. Eli, you have been meeting some pretty cool people, and I know you'll continue as we continue the stream, but who are you out there with now?
Hey, good morning, Judea. I've discovered some stuff. I'm learning stuff today. I am at a cool booth. You know, let me put it in perspective first. Growing up, you had the Archies. They were a cartoon band. They played Sugar, Sugar. And then later on, you had in like maybe early 2000s, late 1990s, early 2000s, the Gorillas. Not really a tangible band, but, you know, a cartoon band, digital band, whatever. Well, now, here I'm standing next to the latest virtual band, animated band, cartoon band, and its creator, Star Forest is the name of the band. Its creator is Genevieve Ledoux. Hey, Genevieve.
Hey there.
And so let me unmute your mic here. So you are from Atlanta, and you created an animated band that's got like Spotify hits and things like that, and it's called Star Forest. Tell me, what is Star Forest?
So my kids told me that they couldn't find music just for them. He had just turned 5, and they were tired of the baby music, kindy music, toddler music, and they weren't ready for adult music. So I started looking for the in-between, and I couldn't find what he liked, and so I created it. And so I knew it had to be something, kids are everywhere now, Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and I knew it had to be something that went everywhere, and I knew I didn't want to be up there singing, and so I come from an animation background, and I created an animated band.
So how many members does the Star Forest have?
It has 4 members. Fawn, she plays the guitar and sings. Twig, he plays the star guitar and he sings as well. Sleuth plays the bass and raps, and then Rocky plays the drums and the tambourine.
So do they have a certain genre that they are mainly, or do they do reggae, do they do ska, do they do rock?
They do a lot, but we like to call it, we created our own genre called synthwave nature pop.
Oh, that's cool. I can kind of have an idea. It's so, I mean, how many conventions have you been to? I mean, this is, you said you, when did they release?
We just launched the whole big rollout on YouTube with our animated music videos in September. And so this is our 3rd convention. We did Dragon Con, MomoCon, and now this one, Atlanta Comic Con.
And how many songs you guys have out?
We have 2 full albums of music now, and then we have also lo-fi music for relaxing, and we have 8-bit music that's like a game track. We have 2 games out now.
And where can people find, all the content for Star Forest?
You can go to our website at www.starforest.rocks, ROCKS, and then we have a YouTube channel, we have Spotify, Apple Music, and now we have a mobile iOS game called Beam On, and we're on Fortnite.
That's
all the places everybody is.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's good. I mean, you covered all the bases. How difficult was it to, figure out how to, get this out into the ethos, I guess?
I mean, the world's evolving very quickly, and I have people on my team that are all paying attention to trends, and I come from an animation background, but it's been a lot. When you have passion for something, I think before you know it, you've been doing it 5 years, and, we call it playing instead of working.
And so, what about getting the music? I mean, did you have help? Because they didn't just write all this music themselves.
No, me and my composer, Andrew Morgan Smith, we write the songs. The band has also helped write the songs. We have real musicians behind these wonderful characters, and we all work together and collaborate, and just like a real band would write songs.
And so you're based here in Atlanta.
Based here in Atlanta, yeah.
And what's your next plan after this convention?
We're going to be at Dragon Con again, and we have a live show at the Springs Cinema in Alpharetta, Roswell area. And
when is that?
That is August 16th.
So that's the next thing that's coming up,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and then Dragon Con, and yeah.
So 16th. You have a live show, August?
It's live-ish. It's like a feature, a film, kind of, sort of.
So tell us one more time if people are interested in checking them out and seeing where you guys are going to be next or get some music.
For sure. Follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and www.starforest.rocks.
And what's your Instagram handle?
Starforest Rocks.
Starforest Rocks. And that's 1 R.
Yes.
And, Star 1 R and Forest 1 R.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, this is for like kids between, I guess, not kind of like tweens, I guess. In a
Yeah,
way.
we call them the in-betweeners. We feel like 5 to 8-year-olds, music kind of forgot about them a little bit. There's a lot of stuff in the younger kids area, and there's a lot of adult music, obviously. It's right before they get to that, I would say they go from Coco Melon to Cardi B, and we want to be right in the middle.
I know, because like, you and I are both of the same generation. When we started getting that age, we had Pac-Man Fever. That was an album that, got so much play. My parents just hated it. And, things like that. I mean, because you go from, Winnie the Pooh albums or something, and you don't want to go just straight into Queen or whatever.
Right.
It's like,
and my kids love Queen.
Yeah,
and
Queen's
so
cool.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I'd put it on, they would go wild. But what I noticed is kids' music doesn't have to be dumbed down. It's really well produced. We spend a lot of time on the lyrics and the storytelling. It's all the things that Queen does so well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just singing not about your girlfriend or, getting drunk. It's more about, going to outer space or playing video games or stuff
Living
that they're
life,
doing.
yeah. Well, that's cool. Genevieve Ledoux out of Atlanta has created an animation band. They're on Spotify. And tell us the website one more time.
www.starforest.rocks.
These are the really cool stickers. And this looks really cool. Judea, I would suggest maybe we can check them out later on.
It does sound really cool. I just was thinking my niece and nephews are in that in-between age, and she is absolutely correct. I mean, of course, they were listening to Gracie's Corner, and now they're a little beyond that. I'm lucky that right now they're just really into Disney music, like from the movies, the soundtracks. But this is a cool option for them if they wanted something else before they, like she said, jump to Cardi B.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, not necessarily just transitions. This could be a lifetime. When they're on the their top 10 list of their Spotify playlist or whatever. I mean, check them out. Crank it up.
As we said earlier in
jam.
the stream, there is a fandom for everything. So, you never know. Thank you so much for giving us another look from the comic convention. We will pop out to you a little later for another look to see who you're going to meet next. I'm excited. All right. Thank you again, Eli. Now, before we go real quick, when we come back, we are going to go over some of the trending news. There are a lot of headlines that you guys out there online have been consuming through social media, scrolling down your timeline. We'll dive into those and explain a little more. Welcome back in, to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray, your host. Now listen, there is a big story that we have been covering since yesterday. A father of 12, 8 stepchildren was killed out in downtown Atlanta. And we have our Lindsay Tuman on the scene. She has a little bit more information on what's going on and any updates for us. Lindsay, what can you tell us?
Hey, good morning to you, Judea. Yes, this happened yesterday morning in a pretty busy part of downtown, right on Forsyth Street in front of the Greyhound bus station. That's where Atlanta police got a call at around 5:30 in the morning on Saturday in response to a person who had been shot. And when officers got there on the scene, they say they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds who had passed away on the scene. Family members have identified that man to us as 44-year-old D'Anthony Reeves. They tell us he had 12 children and 8 stepchildren ranging in ages from 10 years old to 30 years old. He counted them all as his own. They tell us that they are heartbroken by this loss, and yesterday they came together in the same area where detectives pored over a crime scene for hours, gathering evidence. Now those loved ones are calling for change, asking for more gun measures to be taken to prevent something like this from happening in the future, while also reflecting on the loss that they are now dealing with today.
He wasn't just my baby brother. He was my hype man. You know, every morning I'm looking for that call. It's gonna be hard for me and my family. If you can't walk in the airport with a gun, I don't feel you should walk in the Garnett with one either.
Yeah, a very tough situation for so many people whose lives are now impacted by this loss, especially as they face questions about what happened. At this time, Atlanta police have not released any details about a potential suspect or person of interest. They also haven't said what might have led up to that deadly gunfire, but as soon as we learn more, of course, we'll keep you updated. For now, that's the very latest live here in downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman for Good Day Atlanta.
Lindsay, thank you so much for this update. Bringing it back into studio, I want to get you guys a quick look at your weather forecast so you know what you're getting into for the rest of the day. We have our meteorologist out there with us, Alex Forbes. Alex, what can you tell us? Okay, so it looks like we don't have Alex right now. Instead, we are going to take a live look from Hartsfield-Jackson, the Atlanta's airport, where TSA is rolling out some new rules. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but first of all, where you originally had to carry a certain amount of liquid or gels in your carry-ons, or rather you couldn't take over a certain amount in your carry-ons, that may be coming to an end. I mean, we'll see where that goes, but TSA is saying that they may be willing to consider some new rules there. And we did learn that they have also changed some other things that they've got going on. For example, remember if you're in general boarding, you had to take off your shoes? Well, apparently that is a thing of the past. You no longer have to take off your shoes. That sign right there said leave them on. I know that there were a couple of people out at the airport who were taken by surprise because for years now, it's been seen as some sort of safety measure and having to take those shoes off, but things are changing and we'll see what happens with the liquids. I don't know about you, but I am tired of throwing out my lotions and my shower gels every time I want to travel. And of course, you're saying, well, Judea, why don't you just make sure that you get the tiny travel size items? Because that's just not what I pick up when I buy. Yeah, no, I don't know. Now, we are going to try to get a live look at weather. Okay, so it seems that we are just having an issue with that. So instead, we have some cool events happening around the metro Atlanta area. One of them, in fact, our photographer Eli Jordan has been heavily covering the comic convention. And we are going to try to get out with him a little later on in the show. Why don't we talk about some of the trending news in our area? That's something that's big. You guys have been seeing this stuff on your timelines, on your home pages, probably in your Facebook chats, maybe even group chats with family. Here are some of the most trending headlines at this point in time, starting with the latest on the Epstein files. If you've been keeping up with Epstein's list, wondering when it's going to be revealed in its entirety. You know, that debacle between the Trump administration and the public who are just asking for transparency. Here's the latest. As of Friday, President Donald Trump has asked a federal court to unseal secret documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's case. He says that hopefully this will bring a little more transparency. You'll know what to expect and maybe even absolve him of any potential alleged wrongdoing. However, not everybody's satisfied. Some people say that even if they do unseal those secret documents, what's in them isn't going to be everything, and they fear that by just unsealing these particular documents, that will be the end-all be-all of this case. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Epstein files and the entire case, Epstein did kill himself while he was behind bars, still waiting for trial in 2019. Now, related to that, President Donald Trump has opted in to sue the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion. Now, it's worth it to mention that this comes after the Wall Street Journal published an article describing what it claims to be a, and I quote, sexually suggestive letter from around Epstein's 50th birthday, and apparently that letter bore President Donald Trump's name. So Trump not only denies writing the letter, but he claims that this is false, malicious, and defamatory. And for that, he's suing the Wall Street Journal for a lot of money. Now, another big headline that I know has been on your social media timelines, it is the big thing at the Coldplay concert. You know, you saw the Jumbotron, and it appears to show a couple, they seem happy, but then all of a sudden they duck and run away from the camera. Well, Coldplay frontman Chris Martin then jokes that the couple is either having an affair or just very shy. And it turns out that the guy on the left side of your screen is Astronomer CEO Andy Byron, and the woman on the right is Kristen Cabot, the company's head of HR. Now, yesterday, Byron resigned from the company. We have no word yet on Cabot's status in the company. But, you know, while this came out, I was just thinking, what do you guys think? Is this that big of a deal? There are, rumors out there that they were having an affair, cheating on their spouses. But as far as I know, that has not been confirmed. So how would you have handled a situation like this? You're out in public at a concert having a good time when the camera turns on you and maybe you don't want to be on camera. Just out of curiosity, how would you have played it off so it didn't become a much bigger thing? Another headline that we have been following, you know, Beyonce was in the city last week for the Cowboy Carter concert, and it ended quite tragically. We learned that the escalator seemed to have collapsed or had some sort of malfunction, injuring multiple people. And so we, Fox 5 Atlanta, spoke to the Dogan family. They see the incident as happening very differently than what MARTA is putting out as their statement. We spoke to Henry Dogan, who's both a father and a husband, and he recalled the terrifying moments that he sacrificed himself to save his family. Let's listen in.
Next thing you know, the escalator collapsed. It was a free fall. And it went down. It didn't go down slowly. It went down really quickly. All I could remember, or all I can think about doing, was trying to save my family. I tried to grab around and grab all of them. I was able to only grab my daughter and my wife, my 13, and my wife. My 18-year-old, she was up farther. And I whispered in my wife's ear as we was going down really fast. I said, get ready to jump. Because all I could think about, when it slammed into the ground, someone can die. And so as it was going down and as it hit the ground, it stopped. And everybody went forward, then back. So everyone tumbled on one another. My wife and everybody in the front, they tumbled on my leg. I heard my leg pop. It popped. It broke. And the people behind me, they stumbled onto me. my wife got injured. She injured her foot. My 13-year-old daughter, she got injured. And I tried to get up to help them, get their phones and stuff like that. But when I stood up, I fell back down because I couldn't put no pressure on my leg. So I rolled out the way. They got out the way and I rolled out the way. I remember waking up and looking on that hot ground because the ground was hot. The concrete felt like an oven. So all these injured people is basically sitting on a hot concrete ground. We sat there for over an hour and a half, but that's further. But I remember looking up. Blood was everywhere. Blood, earrings, cowboy hats, all over the ground. And people was crying. It's like a scene out of a movie. And it took the first responders basically almost 2 hours to get us up off the ground. And we was begging them, help us, help us, help us. To the point that me and law enforcement got into a real bad argument. I said, you see, all of us are injured. You guys are talking to us like we was just trash. That's how they were speaking to us. And I got very angry. I said, stop talking to us like that right now. I said, we're agitated, we're injured, and we're hot. I said, just get us up off the ground.
Yeah, he did sound extremely angry, and that's because he is. The next morning, the couple realized that not only was he very injured, but so was his wife. They said when they woke up, her foot was swollen and she had to go to the hospital as well. So obviously a traumatic experience for just about everyone involved. Now, the Dogans say that they will never ride MARTA again. They say what's been the most frustrating part about this entire thing is the company's lack of apology. So now they are seeking legal action. Coming back into studio, we've been talking about some of the cool events happening around the metro Atlanta area. Our photographer Eli Jordan is at just one of them. He's been covering the Atlanta Comic Convention. They also have some pop culture stars out there now. Eli, I'm just curious, because I know you're going to meet some heavy hitters today. Who are you with now?
I am in the celebrity signing wing of the convention. And it's pretty big. I mean, like they just said, it just opened up at 10 o'clock. Not too many, everybody showed up yet. We still got a few booths that are open and whatnot. But right now, if you like football and you ever seen the movie The Blind Side, well, I'm here with Quentin Aaron, who played Michael Orr in The Blind Side. Hey. Quentin, how's it going?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
So, it's going great. How's Atlanta been treating you?
Atlanta's been good. It's been good. Actually, my wife and I just moved back here, and we get our keys to our new place tomorrow, so it's pretty awesome. Exciting.
Well, congratulations. See, so, I mean, do you do a lot of these conventions around the country?
I do. I've done past 3 years or so. I think after COVID, I started doing it really. Started in Louisiana, then moved around the states and everything. I find that I thrive in southern states because of a football movie, so it's pretty cool. But.
So just tell me, how did your life change after that movie in 2009?
It's been a roller coaster. It's been definitely a lot of ups, but some downs as well. But I'm grateful for it all. The Blind Side was the gift that keeps on giving. It was a blessing. In more ways than one, it saved me from being homeless myself. So, like, literally, I got an eviction call, and then 30 seconds later, got the movie call. So, it's God's timing,
Got the landlord calling, and a few minutes later, you got called into an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we want to know if you still want to come do the movie. I'm like, yeah. Hey, cool, we'll get you down to Atlanta as soon as possible. I was like, define as soon as possible, because I can come tomorrow. And they were like, all right, cool, we'll do that.
So, how's the crowds been here at this convention? I mean, this convention's been around here for about maybe 4 or 5 years. It's relatively new. How's it been treating you?
It's been good. It's been good. I love it, and being able to do it in a city that I'm actually living in, it means I didn't even have to travel, but 20 minutes up the road. But it's pretty cool. Like the talent that's here, the actors and actresses, the Everyone's so nice. I love the crew that's put together for, Fan X. I've been, I've done a lot of their shows, and it's just been dope. I love the way they take care of the artists. I love how everything's so well put together, and it's just awesome. I love coming to their shows.
Have you seen any celebrities here that you're kind of excited to see?
Yes, dude. I met Frank Grillo. I met Kiefer Sutherland, Dean Cain. I was like, Felicia Day. I'm like geeking out. So many people that I've done it a while, so like I've become friends with a lot of them, like especially the Twilight cast, some of the actors from The Walking Dead, and everything. So I've been able to say that I'm friends with a lot of these guys now because we've seen each other at so many shows. But just like meeting and having an opportunity to conversate with people that I watched growing up. Holly Marie Combs from Charmed, that's my friend. And, meeting Dean Cain and telling him I want to work with him. And then he's like, dude, I'm putting you in my next movie. Like, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
So,
right on.
It's awesome, man. I'm just such a fan myself. So to be here and have the opportunity to come to shows like this, especially for Fan X, it's awesome.
Well, quick question. The Blind Side, that pretty much changed your life. Like you said, kept you from being home. With what's going on with Michael Warren and his controversies with the family and everything, does that bring any kind of disappointment or sour and all that, or is it just kind of like you had nothing to do with it or whatever?
Yeah, I honestly didn't have anything to do with it. It's unfortunate, but families fight. It's
oh yeah.
I think the way it was spun to where people tried to make it about the movie and trying to sour the reputation of the movie, that shouldn't have happened. The Blind Side was or is a very heartfelt, well put together, emotional film that was inspirational for a lot of people. Over the years, I've met several NFL players that told me they started playing football because of that movie. I met families who adopted kids because of seeing that movie. Lives were changed because of that film. So
that's cool, yeah.
And despite of what the family is going through and Michael, I pray for them and and all of that and hope that they can come out with a better resolve. But I don't really have a dog in the fight. I just wish the best for them.
Was this your first real big movie?
Yes, first lead role.
And you were with some heavy hitters, Sandra Bullock, and also you got to see Nick Saban, Roll Tide. Nick Saban?
Yes, I did.
That's cool, yeah. Well, I mean, it's really neat. And also, too, are you a football fan yourself?
I am. Growing up in the Bronx, I watched football and basketball, so I was a Giants fan because of New York. But then around 7, I became a Green Bay fan because of Brett Favre. And then Aaron Rodgers took over the throne, so I was like Green Bay for years. And I still rock the Giants because it's home team. But, yeah. A lot of people told me I should play, but I don't think I had the skills. So not on that level.
It's definitely a cool part to play. And, it was one heck of a movie for it to be your first lead role. And, you had fantastic, supporting actors and then a fantastic crew all the way around. And cool subject matter, too. That's,
Definitely.
Like you said, down here in the South, we like our football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Back in the day, though, I didn't think I could do it, but I've been, beefing up, trying to get myself back into shape. I recently lost over 100 and something pounds.
Well, congratulations.
Doing this health journey, and I'm in my 40s now, so I got to look better than I did in previous years. So I'm still on the way. I'm getting ready for some bigger projects. I got some action coming up, some comedy, some rom-com. And I'm just trying to stick around for the long one and get it done. So support me on our health journey. I'm probably going to do a documentary at some point to show y'all.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye out.
Yeah, we will definitely be keeping an eye out.
Coming out soon.
Exactly.
Eli, we will definitely be keeping an eye out. I really appreciate the interview that you have gotten us so far. This was huge.
Right?
He said it himself. The movie is huge in football country, but I'm from New York myself, so I'm a big fan too. It's been cool to hear from him. We will have to bring it back into studio real quick. Don't worry, we are going to get back out to Eli Jordan pretty soon.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, Eli. All right, so just letting you guys know, church service is underway at the Wheat Street Baptist Church. It looks like they might be in their prayer part of service. You can see the pastor right there. That is Reverend Dr. William J. Smith. And pretty soon after that, we will be getting a birthday celebration for a centenarian. Pretty exciting. We're going to help someone celebrate their 105th birthday. But before that, I want to get you guys to hear from an expert. What happens when you realize that your New Year's resolutions, it's about 6 months past the time where you made those, and you're realizing that maybe you're not as far along as you want to be. We're going to talk to an expert on why this is the perfect time to reconfigure and reset for the new year. Coming up after this break. Well, guys, welcome back into Fox 5 News Now on the Fox local app. Quick question, moment of honesty. Where are you at in terms of your New Year's resolutions? You know, those things that you set back in January? And I guess maybe a better question is, do you even remember what those resolutions were? Because if you're like me, you're thinking, back in January, you made a couple of health goals, and we're about the middle of the year, 6 months later, maybe you're realizing that you're not exactly where you want to be, but good thing is the middle of the year is actually a perfect time to reset, re-account for all the things that you wanted to do and start over. And we have Dr. Anoop Sharma here. He's the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare, Medicare, and Retirement. I think he is a perfect person to talk to us about getting right back on track with your 2025 health goals. Dr. Sharma, welcome to Fox Local.
Thank you for having me.
So I think we all could use a mid-year reset. We're halfway through 2025, but why is now a good time to reevaluate some of the things you set for yourself in January?
So in the beginning of the year, we all set goals for ourselves. And now is a great time while we are able to do this before the holidays hit to see where we are on those goals. And it's a great way to be proactive about your own health and have a great conversation with your healthcare provider, be it a nurse practitioner or your physician.
Okay, good to know. Speaking of the physicians, you may have a doctor's appointment coming up. A lot of us do those checkups once a year. What are some ways that you can set yourself up for success so that is the most productive and the most efficient visit, especially if you're not going to see them again for another year?
So what I tell my patients, when you're coming in for the mid-year check-in, this is your time to ask questions about what you saw, what occurred, and if there's any concerns you have. So I always advise them to write it down, and if their family members are involved, to write it down for them to make sure they get those questions answered in that time.
I think writing it down is a great piece of advice. I think about myself, sometimes I'm thinking about all the things that I want to get done with my doctor, all the things that I want to go over from the year before, and then you get into that office and you forget everything. So yes, write it down was a good one. In researching, I saw that there's also something called a mid-year wellness checklist. What is that and what should go on it?
So on that list is all the things that you were supposed to get done for your age. So depending on your age, if you're due for a colonoscopy, for an eye exam, if you haven't had your dental visit, all those things are really important to get those done. So if those are not done, that's the list that you can use to say, I want to make sure I get those appointments made. If there's referrals needed, you get those too. So that's a great way to make sure you're getting the care you need, and it's all preventative care, and it's important to get it done.
Dr. Sharma, while I have you here, just out of curiosity, there are things that you are supposed to do at around a certain age, but if you have any concerns about something, for example, let's say maybe you felt a lump or something like that in the shower, but you're not at the age where a mammogram is necessary for you. Are those things that you should try to get done during your time in the office too, to take advantage of?
Absolutely. It's your time, and to make sure you're using all of your healthcare benefits that are free to you. So to make sure that you have those conversations, but also have those set up.
Okay. And while we are talking about benefits, I know for myself, a couple of months ago, I was going through my health insurance and found that there are a lot of benefits that I have not been taking advantage of. I didn't even know that they were there. For example, I'm able to get a free gym membership. For some other people, it might just be discounted. What are some other things that you think people look past or look over, don't even know is there?
So for many of our patients, especially in the Medicare world, and even in the younger world, there are over-the-counter benefits. So some things like over-the-counter medications, like ibuprofen or Tylenol, those are actually covered with a benefit. So it depends on what's available in your benefits themselves. You mentioned the gym membership. It's a great way to utilize ways to stay healthy. So there's multiple different ways that your insurance company actually wants you to be better and healthier. So it's really to optimize your benefit, and it's all free.
Yeah, I mean, it is free. Technically, you're already paying for it with your job. You may as well
Exactly.
opt in for it. And I think mental health is also something that you may find you have discounts for if you look in the right places. So maybe those are some appointments that are worth setting up while you have them. Speaking of medications, because you brought that up just a few minutes ago, for our older citizens out there, just for people streaming with us that may be on a lot of different medications, what's a good way to track them and plan your care appointments before the fall comes specifically?
So you want to make sure either you take your medications in with you or you're writing them down so you know when you're taking them, when you're supposed to take them, and if you're going to run out. It's a great time to get your medications refilled also, but also to make sure you take in all the over-the-counter medications and the herbal agents. So many times people are taking supplements, and if we're not aware that you're doing that, we may not be able to guide you on the interactions that may occur with your regular medications.
I actually didn't even think about the supplements. I'm sure a lot of people don't either. But yeah, I guess all of that does play a role, especially if they're trying to prescribe you with something new to your body, and they should know everything that's going in. So
Absolutely.
noted. Oh, these were all really great practical tips. Clearly, a mid-year wellness reset is not that big of a deal. It is something that you can do. It's not only helpful, but obviously it's essential to staying healthy, productive, and organized. Dr. Sharma, thank you so much for your time with us. I feel like this was really helpful for our audience.
Thank you. And when in doubt, you can always ask your physician for any questions you may have here. And also, you can always go to unitedhealthcare.com for more.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much. For those of you who are streaming out there with us, don't go too far. We will get you a break, and when we come back, we'll have a lot more content ready for you. Hey guys, I do want to let you know we are watching live in just a few minutes. We are going to be celebrating a Georgia centenarian. She is turning 105 years old today. Her name is Mother Henderson. You can see some of the people in the congregation coming up to her. She is sitting up front in that beautiful church hat with her family. People are coming up, saying their hellos, wishing her a happy birthday. We do have our reporter, Caitlin Pratt, live out there. Pretty soon we will be going to her camera. This is streaming live from the church itself. Now, just in case you weren't with us earlier, you're looking at Wheat Street Baptist Church, which has been running for just about 156 years now. Next week is actually their 156th anniversary. And if you're not familiar with where it's at, it's in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood, really close to Ebenezer Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s church. And so right now they're doing their visitor meet and greet. This is a regular part of service where if you are visiting for the first time, members will come up and embrace you and welcome you into the service. It's pretty cool. And so once again, later on, there is supposed to be a tribute. We're just waiting for that to begin. Mother Henderson is turning 105 years old. She has been a pillar in her community for decades now. Not only has she been an activist, not only has she, served on quite a number of neighborhood planning committees, she has done her best to make sure her community knows that everyone in it, they're loved, that they are well sought after. And for that, her community has taken very good care of her. I feel like that's the only way that you make it to the beautiful age of 100 and then be able to live and, just be amazing beyond those years. I wonder how you make it that far in life. And maybe that's one of the secrets. You give back. You continue to show up for other people. You care about other people. You create a beautiful, big family around you who will help take care of you when you come into those later years in your life. It does look like things are starting to calm down. And like I said, pretty soon after that, we are supposed to have the tribute. But you know what? I'm going to get you guys a quick break. When we come back, we'll check back in on this live stream and see how things are progressing. Thanks for staying with us here on Fox Local. Welcome back in, you guys. Like we told you before the break, we are celebrating a Georgia Centenarian. This that you're looking at is just part of the regular service, but we do have our Caitlin Pratt out there on scene. She's sitting in one of the pews. Caitlin, how are things going for the beautiful birthday celebration? Okay, hold on, Caitlin. We have an issue with your audio, but we do want to hear all of this goodness. Give me 1 second to see if we can pull that back up. Oh, okay, sounds like we can hear you now. Perfect. Caitlin?
Yes. Okay. So we're listening in from the balcony of the Wheat Street Baptist Church here. They're playing an old video from Valina York Henderson. She's turning 105 years old. And she's sitting right down here in the front row. I'm going to zoom in now, trying to be respectful here and not speaking loudly, but that's her in the purple hat, the purple shoes. Her family is surrounding her, and this is a very special occasion. 105 years old today on Sunday in Atlanta. Born baby, born in her house in Mechanicsville. At the time of her birth, it wasn't allowed for Black people to be born in a hospital. Nurses, doctors had to come to them in their homes. They're paying tribute to her because of her work in the community over the years. Her granddaughter telling me that she has photos up all around her house with dignitaries, with politicians. She's met presidents, she's met first ladies, and the reason why is she really worked for her community in the last 50 years, especially in the community of Mechanicsville and Pittsburgh. She's known, she's well known in those communities for sure. She's been involved with activism, several housing boards across the city of Atlanta. And I caught up with her granddaughter before the service here, and I just want to show you this beautiful church here, historic church. Caught up with her granddaughter, and she was telling me that what has really contributed to her longevity is her faith, her sense of service. And you can see and hear that is being celebrated here today. We're going to circle back and bring you some updated sound with her granddaughter in the next hour here on Fox Local. But in the meantime, I want to let you listen in to this beautiful song.
Caitlin, just popping in here so you know you're not alone. Listen, this is beautiful, and I want to, like you said, you're trying to be respectful. Caitlin, you guys, is sitting in a church. You know you're not supposed to talk in church.
Ain't nobody told you that.
I am somebody.
William Home Borders. I want Wheat Street to remember me as a good member, a good service provider, and I helped and did for everybody. Wheat Street Baptist Church started from William Home Borders up until
Yes, indeed. Happy birthday, 105 years young. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio, Judea.
And you know, you answered the question. Here in the studio, we were trying to figure out what is the secret to that type of vitality. And I was thinking maybe it was keeping, you know, loved ones around you, maybe helping your community, but you answered it. She answered it. It has been her faith. And so that explains why she decided to ring her 105th birthday in the house of the Lord. Listen, she also has been a faithful member of Wheat Street Baptist Church for, I believe, over 50 years now. And just when you think about it, because the church is getting ready to celebrate their 156th anniversary, she has been alive for longer than probably many of the members there. Well, obviously lived longer than most of the members there, but has been alive for a good chunk of maybe, I guess you could say a third. I'm not that great at math, but you know, a third of the time that the church has been open. I just wanted to point that out. All right, you guys, let's get you a quick break. When we come back, we are going to get a look at your weather forecast, and then we'll get back to some of the big headlines, and maybe we'll check out Mother Henderson with her birthday celebration again sometime later on in the stream. Thanks for joining us. News Now, I'm Judea Murray. This is our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. Alex, I know you're bringing us our forecast for the week. What can we expect?
Yeah, much of the same. I think it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, and we're going to have scattered showers and storms. It's like it's July or something across north and central Georgia. So let me take you to Fox 5 Live Viper. We've seen a couple of scattered showers out there already this morning, mainly west of the city. Those have since faded away. Now we've got one lone shower left up in northern Georgia. This is right over Blue Ridge, passing over Lake Blue Ridge, the southern extent of that now, headed towards the Union County line. We'll see if it can make it. No guarantees there in Blairsville, but today's rain chance is at about 20%. Going to be up to 60% for Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So today's going to be the driest day probably of the next 7. 86 is where we stand now in Atlanta, 86 in Covington. How about that? 11:05 in the morning. Already 90 degrees in Eatonton. Feels like 102. 95 is the heat index in Covington, 97 in Athens, 91 in Atlanta, 90 in Noonan, and 93 over in Thomaston. So the forecast for the afternoon calls for a pool day, a river day, a lake day, an outside day. We have low chances of rain, not zero, but low. It is going to be warm, but when you're looking for a good summertime day, I think this is one of those days. It is going to be hot. It's going to be humid, but the rain chance is relatively low through the afternoon. Now, while temperatures are in the low 90s, really upper 80s and low 90s, it's going to feel like the mid to upper 90s across north and central Georgia, perhaps upwards of 100 in Atlanta a little later on this afternoon. That's not necessarily a guarantee, but it is certainly in the cards through the day today. 92 the afternoon high here in the city, 93 in Covington, 94 in Thomaston, 91 in LaGrange, 89 in Carrollton, and 88 over in Blairsville. Here's your forecast model now through the afternoon. You see just a couple of specks there. Even if you are outside and get wet for a little bit, it's going to feel pretty nice, and it's not going to last very long as well as we work our way through the afternoon and evening. There go the showers and storms, and then there we go for tomorrow morning. Starting off dry, flip the switch. Here comes that shower and storm risk once again, and that will do it for Monday afternoon. So you add it all up, you get your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast here. Highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s. Chance of rain, looks like July to me.
Okay. Well, keep your umbrella in the car just in case. You never know what can happen. And I have to say, we did get a beautiful, sunny, warm day for a 105-year-old. We were at her birthday celebration a little earlier at church, but pretty cool that the sun came out for her on this day.
Yep.
All right, so now we are covering some major headlines here in the city of Atlanta. In downtown, we have our reporter, Lindsay Tuman, who has been covering a father who was killed near a Greyhound station. Lindsay, what can you tell us about this developing story?
Yeah, good morning to you, Judea. This happened at early hours of yesterday morning in a very busy part of downtown Atlanta. Atlanta police got the call at around 5:30 in the morning to Forsyth Street, right outside of that Greyhound station. There they were responding to a report of a person who had been shot. And when officers got on the scene, they say they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds who passed away. Family members identified him to us as 44-year-old DeAnthony Reeves. They actually gathered in the same area where a detective spent hours poring over that crime scene, looking for evidence and interviewing witnesses. Those family members coming out to pay honor to a man who they say had 12 children, 8 stepchildren, but all of whom he counted as his own. They said that he was a loving father and a man who had a larger-than-life personality who will be sorely missed.
Free spirit, love to have fun. He's just like for the party. He loved. My Instagram up to almost 2,000-3,000 people saying they miss him, they love him, they sorry.
Many people impacted by this loss, and the family now calling for changes to prevent more gun violence like this from happening, especially in such a busy area. Now, there are a lot of questions in this case still. Atlanta police have not released any details about a potential suspect at this time or what might have led up to that deadly gunfire. As soon as we get some more answers, of course, we'll keep you updated. But for now, that's the latest at Live in Downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Lindsay, again, thank you so much for keeping us updated on this case. Not only are people in Atlanta just generally interested in knowing what's going to happen, hearing more about that suspect, but our community that we've gotten online is also extremely interested. So we appreciate you. And I believe we're going to try and get one more update from you a little later on. But there are some other big headlines happening around our area, starting with the family of a man who was killed in Carrollton, Georgia. They say that he was trying to turn his life around when this tragedy hit very close to home. The victim, identified as Tyrone Boykin, was just 46 years old. He died Friday afternoon after being shot in the 100th Street of Magnolia. Now, his aunt admits that her nephew was previously in the streets, but she claims that he had changed himself around a while ago and that he was trying to live a much better life. So his family is begging for this sort of violence to end. Let's take a listen.
I pray that these kids that is still out here in this world will take a good look at what just happened and would try to change his life.
And, she did say kids there. That's because the 3 teens have been arrested. You'll see 2 of them on your screen now. That's 17-year-old Joshua Davis Jr. And then on the right, you have 18-year-old Kamari Farmer. There is a 3rd teen involved. He's just not pictured. That teen is only 15 years old. And again, these are the 3 that have been accused and arrested. All right, now answer honestly for me. Think deeply too. Do you think you could stand up and face someone who has done you so wrong in the past? Because that's the kind of growth that they're hoping from people at this forum in Atlanta. Community members in Southeast Atlanta came together for a unique event on gun violence. So not only were there victims and survivors of gun violence out in the crowd, but they also had former perpetrators. Now, Atlanta City Councilman Antonio Lewis was there, and he said that this is purposeful, that these kinds of events are crucial and they help prevent gun violence. Let's take a listen.
We've seen a 22% drop in crime in Zone 3 and District 12 in particular, and this is how. It's partnerships like the partnership with POD, the partnership with One Way Youth, the partnership with Mothers Against Gang Violence. That way the goal is not to lock our way up out of this situation. And so that's us doing this.
Now, we have another big headline. This one's coming from Cobb County. Last weekend, a former Cobb County officer and a father of 3 beautiful children died while vacationing off the South Carolina coast. Officials say Chase Childers helped rescue 5 swimmers before he went under the water himself and unfortunately never resurfaced. Now, the community has come out to support his wife and children, and they have come out in a big way. A GoFundMe created for them has already surpassed $200,000. Now, obviously, money is not going to replace someone, but it will help the family with their funeral costs and any other things that they need to do during their grieving. And what's kind of bittersweet about the entire thing is Childers actually received a life-saving award during his time serving with the Cobb County Police Department. And so obviously he went on to fill those big shoes there. Now, for the Atlanta Public Schools, the system, it's great news for some of those employees because frontline staff will be getting a pay raise. Now, frontline staff includes bus drivers, custodians, paraprofessionals. They're going to be getting a 10% salary bump. School nurses will also receive a little extra money. And I know those of you watching out there, especially if you're a teacher yourself, you're wondering, what about the educators? Well, APS teachers are getting an 11% raise as well. Now, speaking of things that are trending and big things happening around our community, we have been following our photographer Eli Jordan out at the Atlanta Comic and Pop Culture Convention, and we learned it's not just comics out there because Eli has been talking to some pretty heavy hitters and some celebrities. Eli, who do you have for us in this hour?
Hey, good morning, Judea. Yeah, I'm here at the comic book convention, and I've got an iconic person here, one that I watched all my youth growing up. I have the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno. Lou, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. This is a great convention. Get to see my fans, especially 3 generations of fans. It's so exciting because as a kid, I didn't have anything like this, but this is wonderful.
So, I mean, yeah, like you said, you mentioned the younger fans, all that. I mean, the Incredible Hulk, David Banner, and Bill Bixby, and yourself, you know, from 77 to 82. What were those days like?
It was incredible because back then Spider-Man and Captain America failed at the TV series. I was trained for the Miss Olympia competition for 1977. I received a phone call, the audition. I won the audition, but I missed that time era because back then everything was organic, authentic. It wasn't like today, too much emphasis on CGI. It's much more, a lot more camaraderie.
So you had to get painted up every day, didn't you?
Yeah, very tough, 3.5 hours of makeup. I was the first one on the set and the last one to leave. But I'll tell you one thing, I just love playing the character.
And so, you know, as the Marvel Universe got going on, you know, grew and grew, you know, what's it like going to see, you know, the Hulk now in the theaters?
I think it's great because especially everybody loves the OG Hulk, but now when you see the end game, the adventure, you see all these superheroes, all the A-list actors playing these different characters. It's wonderful because it's not like certain portion of the public watch Marvel. Now everybody's watching Marvel.
And, you know, like you said, the OG Hulk, I mean, you're the OG Hulk. And, I mean, does the younger generation really realize that?
Oh, yeah, because parents bring them here because the CGI Hulk is not like the OG Hulk. It could be a classic like the original Star Trek, Twilight Zone. It'll play forever because every episode had a wonderful laser message about life.
Awesome. So have you seen some celebrities here that you've gotten excited about?
Yes. My friend John Schneider, we got Linda Blair. Also, we have, I ran into Priscilla Presley. People from the 70s, like even Priscilla told me yesterday, nothing like the 70s and 80s because it was a different time era. We were just getting started.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was like the golden age, though, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because we had the, you know, for people that liked, you know, action and stuff. We had the Hulk, we had the $6 million man. I mean,
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was fun. Did you miss it?
Yeah, because you got to remember back then it was only 2, 4, and 7. There was only 3 networks. Today you have numerous networks like Netflix, HBO. I miss that era because it was more of a human connection. We didn't have all the CGI special effects. We didn't have directors looking through cameras. Everybody was like more personal contact.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, the old school, more tangible effects and things like that gave it a much more better feel.
Yeah.
Just like the original Star Wars and the original. Now all the CGI stuff kind of takes a little bit of the soul out of it. I
Yeah,
guess.
like if I had to go back in time, I'd love to see a film in the original Twilight Zone because even today when you watch it, I'd love to see how it's made.
Yep.
Especially back then, it's a story, it's a camaraderie.
Well, cool, Mr. Frigno. Thank you very much for your time
Thank you,
chatting
my
with
pleasure,
me.
you too.
And it's really cool to chat with you.
Thank you, appreciate
never
it.
think the world would turn you away where I get to meet you.
Thank you.
I'll
too.
let you get back to your fans here because you got
You
something
got
over
it.
there.
Thank
you have
you
a
so
wonderful
much.
day.
You too. Thank you.
Well, Judea, that was the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it
also known
was.
as David Banner. And you would not like him when he gets angry.
No.
And he'll turn green and mean and all that good stuff. That's cool. But yeah, hey, I mean, there's a lot of people here. You can see over my shoulder. He's getting some autographs signed and all that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that line is
so
only
yeah,
going
that's
to
what's
get
going
longer.
on here, and this is going on till about 5 o'clock today. And he's really cool. You get the autographs, and he's like, "Hey, let's get pictures." I'm gonna get out of the way though, because I don't want to be back there. I don't want to run the pictures.
You don't want to make a cameo?
So I know. I mean, I know how it is to be the cameraman, and you don't want some ugly mug in the back messing it up. But yeah, so
Ugly
this is
is
going on
crazy.
until 5. This is the last day. We got a promotional code, Fox. If you go to the website and you want to come down here, don't want to pay the full $30 for today, go to the website and type in Fox, F-O-X, for your promotional code, and you will get a discount to come on down here today. So down here at the World Congress Center, Comic Convention, come down and check it out right now. Lou Ferrigno is meeting some other Starstruck fans and getting some pictures made. The Incredible Hulk. I've been real nice around him because I don't want him to get upset. Nah, he's a very, very, very charming gentleman. He's cool. I like him.
Yeah, the great interview.
But that's what's going on down here.
All right, let's
The
pull
Incredible
it back
Hulk. You know what's
on to
really weird?
What's weird?
I want to tell you one thing though. I didn't want to say this in front of him, but when I was like, when the Incredible Hulk came out, it was 19. I was 3 to 8 years old. I had underwear with this guy's freaking Hulk image on there. It's crazy, But yeah, I mean, I had Spider-Man. I also had the Thing and all that stuff. I mean, it was a cool thing. But we all had shirts and underwear. It was really neat.
So you were trying your hardest not to fan out. Are you sure? You don't have any in your drawers right now?
I mean, they don't make them anymore. I might need to go search and see if they can get somewhere.
Well, again, Eli, great interview. Like I said, you never know who you're going to meet when you are in the city of Atlanta, but especially when you're out at an amazing, cool event like the Atlanta Comic and Pop Culture Convention. Now, again, like Eli said, that doesn't end until about 5 p.m., so get on out there. We also got an exclusive discount code for us. It is Fox. Put that on the website and get your tickets if you are interested in going out there. Well, you guys, in just a little bit, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to be talking with an expert on why, when you go to the airport, it is not a good idea to plug one of these in. Yes, you're going to try to charge your phone, try to charge your devices, but that could open you up to a whole world of harm for your data. We'll get more on that information in just a second. guys, welcome back into Fox Local. I'm your host, Judea Murray. Now, not too long ago, the TSA put out a new warning saying that those USB ports that you see out in the airport or really anywhere else out in the public are more dangerous than they are convenient. They're warning against a phenomenon called juice jacking. And so to help us unpack what that is, why it's so harmful, and how you can protect yourself is internet security expert Eric Flam. Eric, welcome to Fox Local.
Thank you, Judea. Happy to be here.
So I asked around the newsroom before we began this interview, and everybody looked at me like I had 10 heads. What is juice jacking?
Yeah, well, first, it sounds like a cool and innocent term, doesn't it? But it's actually quite dangerous. And the idea is that we're always on our smartphones and our tablets, and they constantly run out of electricity, out of power. And so we're always looking for places to plug in. And one thing that people forget is that those USB cables that we use to charge our smartphones also carry data. That's half the point of those cables. And so when you're plugging in to charge, let's say at an airport or a bus station or a hotel or a cafe, then your view is, hey, I'm just getting power here. But what could be happening is data could also be transferred. And there are hackers out there who have figured out exactly how to do this.
Okay, so we talk about data. What exactly are these hackers looking for when they try to steal your information?
Yeah, so just about anything. They're looking for your personal and financial records, anything they can get their hands on that tie you to your bank accounts and all your other logins. So what a lot of people don't think about is that your personal and financial information is valuable to hackers. On the dark web, personal information could be worth up to $1,000. So hackers are actively seeking to grab this data wherever they can from you, your personal information, and then go out and sell it to somebody who's going to try to do something fraudulent with that data.
Goodness. All right, well, I thought about it myself. I think that I heard about this a couple of years ago because I remember specifically that I stopped using those USB ports. But the TSA is putting their warning out now. Why do you think now in particular is so important to them?
Well, really, people are traveling now more than ever. And so they're getting onto airplanes, they're going through airports, staying in hotels. And so because the volume of travelers is so high, also the potential for fraud and for grabbing your data will also increase. I think that's why the warning got put out there for preparation for the summer travel season.
To your knowledge, are there a lot of real world cases where this has happened, or is it more so like a theoretical, let's make sure we tell you that this could happen to you so that it doesn't happen to anyone?
Well, yeah, so it's a good question. It's an identified security threat. And we really don't know how often this happens. And the reason we don't is it happens quietly. There's no notification on your phone or your tablet or your laptop that you've been hacked. When you plug it in, it could be, it's that is actually one of the goals of the hacker is to not let on that you have been hacked. Because if you let on as a hacker that the person's being hacked, then that customer, that consumer at the end of the day who's trying to charge your phone is going to end up changing all their passwords and becoming more security aware. So it's a quiet threat. So really when these warnings get issued, it's to show people that that threat is possible and it exists.
So realistically, not only could this have happened to you already, but you really wouldn't even know if you were a victim until it's way too late.
That's really true. And the thing is, there are very, very easy ways to prevent this from happening. So the first one is that you could actually if you use your AC adapter, so the actual plug that goes into the wall plug, if you use that instead of just simply plugging your USB into a USB jack, that alone cuts off the data access. So you're safe. That's the easiest way to do it. I know it sounds tempting to travel with just simply your USB cable, but when you actually plug it into the wall, even though it's hard to find a plug sometimes, that is a surefire way to protect yourself. There are also other specific kinds of cables and adapters that prevent the data flow. You can just go online and find these. They exist. And so this is another way by blocking the data but allowing the power to get through. That's another way to do it. And the third way that we recommend is to get a power bank. They tend to be inexpensive. They're very secure. You charge it before your trip, And then you've got plenty of power, and you can feel very, very confident that your data is not going to be stolen that way.
Beautiful. I actually brought some props with me. The only thing that I don't have is that power bank, but I'll have to go to the store and get one, especially if it can keep me safe.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, are any devices immune? Obviously your phone is one of the ones that they're looking for, and that's where they'll get their information. But if you're using iOS or Android, are any of them safe?
Really, none are immune. And the thing to think about is if you're a hacker, you're always trying to stay ahead of the smartphone manufacturers, the software companies. And so that is really where the threat comes from. Is it's sort of like a cat and a mouse game, where you've got security experts trying to stay ahead of hackers and hackers trying to get ahead of security experts. And so I would say that really it's best to have the assumption that your device is not safe, and therefore to take a few simple measures to give yourself that protection.
Okay, cool. Now, looking ahead for those who are going to be out there traveling pretty soon, is there any way that you can tell that the port that you're plugging into isn't a safe one? Are there any telltale signs that we can look out for?
Well, if the hacker has done a very good job, they can disguise the ports. Somehow that hacker would have to have a way to get the data from wherever that plug is, out to their own laptop or through the network. And so there would have to be either some hardwired evidence or some kind of a transmitter. So I think the idea here is that with a quick look, you will not be able to tell. It's the same concept as those credit card skimmers that can be found on ATMs and convenience stores, where you really believe you innocently put your ATM card in and punch in your PIN, and because it looks so realistic, your data can be stolen. Same thing is, the better the hacker, the less telltale there will be that you're being hacked.
Okay, noted. Try to keep that in your mind moving forward. Like you said, using your block is probably the best way to avoid, other than the other tips that you gave us. Now, I want to ask, besides the USB ports, are there any other tech threats that we should be looking out for when we're out in public?
There really are. I would say almost more dangerous is the threat of using public Wi-Fi.
That's a good one.
When you use public Wi-Fi, let's say at a cafe or a hotel or even possibly an airport, there's an attack called the evil twin attack. It sounds very nefarious, but what it is that a hacker could be sitting nearby with their laptop open and transmitting a Wi-Fi signal that is legitimate. It will really give you Wi-Fi access, but they've named it to be something similar to where you are. So just as an example, let's say your favorite neighborhood cafe is Ace Cafe, and they have Wi-Fi, and you go there and you work every now and then. Well, there could be another person nearby with a laptop that also created the name Ace Cafe for their Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can be connecting to that, and then the reason they call it evil twin is it looks just like a legitimate hotspot, but there will be a hacker intercepting your data. So Wi-Fi is another thing to look out for. And again, there are measures that are not that complicated to ensure that you can secure your data.
Ooh, I'll be looking out for those evil twins. Thank you for that tip. Now, obviously, all of what you research and all of that you study is not simple, but I really appreciate you being able to break it down for us and our audience. For those of you who are out there streaming with us, of course, we wish you safe travels, but also safe charging. It's a shame that, we are just trying to get powered up, but you have to be very careful. So, Eric, thank you so much for your time. For you guys out there, we're going to get you a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back into Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. I'm your host for the next hour and some change. Thank you so much for choosing us for your headlines and for the events happening around you. Let's get out to our Lindsay Tuman, our reporter on scene of a shooting that happened yesterday as well as a vigil. Lindsay, what are you hearing now about this case?
Yeah, Judea, that happened in a very busy area of downtown outside of a Greyhound bus station off of Forsyth Street in the early hours of yesterday morning. Atlanta police got that call at around 5:30 in response to a report of a person who'd been shot. And when officers got on the scene, they say they found a man with multiple gunshot wounds. He passed away there. His family members have identified him to us as 44-year-old D'Anthony Reeves. They tell us he had 12 children and 8 stepchildren who he also counted as his own. Those family and friends gathered in the same spot that police spent hours poring over that crime scene, gathering evidence. Family members paying their respects to a man they say loved his family, had a big personality, and now they want to see change to prevent other violence from happening there in the future.
He wasn't just my baby brother. He was my hype man. You know, every morning I'm looking for that call. It's gonna be hard for me and my family. If you can't walk in the airport with a gun, I don't feel you should walk in the Garnett with one either.
Yeah, very scary situation that happened out there. And at this time, police haven't released many details. They haven't released a suspect description or a person of interest. They also haven't said what might have led up to that deadly gunfire. As soon as we get those answers, of course, we'll keep you updated. That is the latest live in downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Lindsay, thank you so much for all morning and all afternoon taking us through this case and getting us the information that we need to know. I can tell you right now, our audience online, they've been in the comment section. They really appreciate you breaking this down for us. And I know another thing that a lot of people want to know is, what is the weather going to be like? Everybody wants to know the weather forecast. So we are going to get out to our Alex Forbes, our in-house meteorologist, for a look at your forecast.
Yeah, good morning, Jay, or I guess, well, it is still morning, but it feels like afternoon, right? Temperatures now in the mid-80s, 86 in Atlanta, 85 in Stockbridge, 86 in McDonough and in Covington. How about Eatonton? Already to 91, pair of 8s over there in the Classic City, and 79 up in Blue Ridge. But here's the real story, what it feels like outside. Bartow County, 96. 96 in Conyers, 98 in Covington, 95 in Monroe. It's not even noon yet, all right? Yeah, a lot of pink down towards the south and east. 102 is what it feels like in Eatonton. 93 up there in Rome, 86 in Blue Ridge. So we are in store for a hot day across the area, no doubt. Fox 5 Live Viper, we do have some showers. They've actually pulsed up a bit. This is going to be now on the other side of Blue Ridge and towards Suches and Blairsville. So that's right there on the Union-Lumpkin County line. Probably going to pass Dahlonega by towards the north. But if you're in White County, maybe thinking about heading out in the river here in the next few minutes in Helen, you are probably going to catch a shower here in the next little bit. Elsewhere down to the south, we did see some showers earlier this morning out near Bremen, Carroll County, Villa Rica, Douglasville. Now, not so much. So here we go into the day today. All right. We are about 2 hours away from first pitch, the Braves and the Yankees. Hopefully we can take Game 3 and win the series. That'd be nice. Temperatures getting from the upper 80s into the low 90s, but of course it is going to feel hotter than that this afternoon as we work our way towards the 3 o'clock hour during the course of the game. There's a couple of scattered showers, 4 o'clock today. On into the evening tonight, those get out of here. Dry tomorrow morning, then for tomorrow afternoon, we flip the switch at the noon hour. Here comes some scattered shower and storm activity, and that's going to stay with us through the evening commute tomorrow. Now, the heat index forecast through the day today, you saw we're already seeing 100-degree heat index values, so something to be mindful of. We'll go even hotter tomorrow. I think that's going to happen earlier in the day. There you are in the morning hours, afternoon, boom. Now, any of these oranges and yellows you see filling in, that's some rain-cooled air as we work our way through that time period. Okay, quick check of the tropics for you this morning. The Gulf of America is quiet, but you find your way back out towards the Atlantic. We do have an area of disturbed weather. This is what we call the ICTZ. It's that area from Africa to South America that typically gets active mid to late August and carries us through September. So this is a little early, but I really don't think this is going to develop like last week's system did not develop either. That still means the next name on the list is Dexter. followed by Aaron and Fernand as we work our way through hurricane season. Okay, here's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast now. 92 for Sunday, 94 on Monday, 96 there on Tuesday, a 60% chance of showers and storms. Not quite as hot through the middle part of the week, but still, Judea, 91 versus 96. It's still hot.
It's still hot, but listen, I will take it. I will take it happily.
All right.
Thank you so much for getting us a look at our forecast there, Alex. We'll check back in with you a little later on to see if anything has changed, but I think it's going to stay hot pretty much the rest of the day. Well, speaking of hot, our photographer Eli Jordan doesn't know anything about that because he is indoors. He's been hitting the Atlanta Comic and Pop Culture Convention, and he's been talking to some pretty cool people. Eli, who are you bringing us next?
Well, just a few minutes ago, I had Lou Ferrigno, the original, incredible Hulk, and now I thought that was super cool. But right now, I'm outside of a really cool vendor right now, Red 5, and if you get the reference, it's a perfect name for a shop. Because if you watch Star Wars, you know, Red 5, I'm going in. And so, let's go check it out. I'm going to be speaking with Brian Rushby. He's the owner of Red 5. How's it going, Brian?
Good, how are you, sir?
Doing good. I want to get in on here so we can just check out some of your wares and stuff. So tell me, what is Red 5?
Red 5, we are an independent toy store out of Massachusetts. Based on the Red 5 is a reference to Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. So kind of playing off that. We're big Star Wars focus in the store, but not so much at the shows.
So what other things do you sell besides Star Wars stuff? I see some backpacks here.
All pop culture all the time. So plenty of mini backpacks. That's our #1 item that we sell. Then these pop culture themed shirts by Roosevelt. These are, we're the only person who has them here at Atlanta Comic Con. So kind of exclusive to us for this show anyways. So anything from Star Wars to Disney.
Yeah, I like these short sleeve shirts.
To Transformers.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff there. And plenty of plush for the kiddos. For the little kids and the big kids at heart, we got you covered with all your...
So what's your shop like in Massachusetts? With what kind of Star Wars stuff do you have?
So with Star Wars, we do all the new releases, and we do plenty of vintage stuff from 1977 to 1985. It really brings out the big kids. We like to call them the Gen Xers to kind of come in and get reconnected with toys from their youth.
So do you have the old original Millennium Falcon?
We have. We
all
just
right.
sold one in the box.
What about a big Boba Fett? I had a big Boba Fett. Yeah.
I've had it before. I don't have it at the moment.
I don't have it anymore either.
Definitely an awesome piece.
So, how did you get into the pop culture thing?
You know, I did plenty of years in corporate America and stepped down to try to do something a little bit more rewarding. You know, I was always a big fan of toys and pop culture, and it just seemed like a great leap forward into it. So my wife and I, we took the dive and we gave it our all to make a little store, and it's been great so far. We're in 5 years going, and you know, the Comic-Con circuit's been great. Coming down to places like Atlanta and Knoxville really gives us a chance to see, you know, the country as well as stay connected to the passion that we have for toys and pop culture.
So this is your first time in Atlanta, correct?
First time. Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
Awesome. People down here, super friendly, super nice. Shrimp and grits. I mean,
No, can't go wrong, yeah.
Yeah, we don't get that up north.
Yeah, I'll say the South is better, you know, just for the food.
I get
And football, too. They have better college football teams. Anyways.
Wow, a little biased here.
But it looks like Massachusetts might have a really, really good shop where you can get all your pop culture needs. And I like that name, Red 5. I'm more of a Red 6 Porkins guy. And those the Y-Wing fighters are really cool, too. I remember one year my parents got me the Y-Wing fighter to go along.
Y-Wing was a nice piece.
Yeah. So I like your shop here. It's pretty cool. And it's thanks for coming to Atlanta for us to check it out. And maybe you guys will be back again. Brian Rushby of Red 5 Pop Culture Items. I guess, what would you call it? Pop culture items?
Yeah, pop culture and reuniting big kids and little kids with toys of the today and the past.
Right on. Cool. I dig it. Judea, you need to come down here and check out some of this stuff. It's really cool.
Eli, the mini backpacks are so cute. I do have to say, are those wallets right there? Is that what those are?
I'm sorry, it's getting kind of loud out
No,
here.
it's okay. Yeah, I know things are getting really big, and a lot of people are coming through now. I think those are either wallets or coin purses. But anyway, thank you so much for giving us a quick look at the comic and pop culture convention. Now, one of our other reporters, Caitlin Pratt, has been covering a beautiful birthday celebration for a woman who turned 105 years old today. She is on scene out there now at the Wheat Street Baptist Church, out there in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood. Caitlin, what can you tell us about this birthday?
Hey, Judea. Yes, it was such a special ceremony inside, and church is actually ongoing right now. Wanted to go ahead, though, and step outside out of the sanctuary and also show you what was going on inside. We do have some video. Go ahead and take a look at this special tribute to a woman, 105 years old, who many call Mother Henderson. She was born here in Atlanta, specifically in the Mechanicsville community, back when it was an only black neighborhood, born in 1920. Now, flash forward 105 years later, obviously so much has changed. She's been at this church. This has been her home church, Wheat Street Baptist Church, her entire life. So it was only fitting, her granddaughter told me, that they would come to church on her birthday. And the entire congregation celebrating her, applause. They came by, they gave cards, they spoke with her, shook her hand, congratulated her on 105 years, and also touched on her activism within the community. Over the years, she's really worked in the neighborhoods to advocate for her neighbors. I touched on that with her granddaughter, who mentioned she grew up seeing photos of famous people on her grandmother's walls. Take a listen.
Is that like seeing them on your grandmother's wall?
Yeah, it was very impressionable as a youth to see that. It made me strive to want to be better and lead and follow in her footsteps. She's met a couple of presidents, first wives, a lot of dignitaries, advocating all for her people. She did all of this work as a volunteer. That is even more impressive.
Wonderful. Any closing thoughts that you want to get across?
Any closing thoughts? I'm just grateful to be a part of a lineage. I thank God for the favor that is on my grandmother's life, and just happy for this joyous occasion.
And she mentioned that the reasons her grandmother has lived so long and lived such a full life, her faith and her acts of service. So a recipe just for 105 years on this planet. And here's looking at the next one ahead, next 365 days ahead. That's the latest here live in near Ebenezer Baptist Church, Old Fourth Ward. I'm Caitlin Pratt. Back to you, Judea.
Caitlin, beautiful wrap up of such an amazing ceremony. And didn't she look so fabulous in her church fit? I feel like you don't see the Sunday hats anymore, and she looked absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I was living for it. But, again, as Caitlin mentioned, this woman is not just loved by her family, her friends, and, people who have worked with her, but by the whole community, because she has had a lot of that work in activism throughout her life. And so happy 105th birthday, Mother Henderson from Fox 5 Atlanta. Thank you for letting us in on your joyous day. You guys, I want to get you a quick look at some of the other cool events and such happening around Georgia, starting with Unity Fest tonight. So if you are interested in live music, this may be the one for you. Unity Fest is a celebration of the power of music to bring people together. Their slogan or their subheader is, "It's simply too late to hate. We already love one another." All right, so what you're gonna get: live music, food trucks, activities for the kids, so you can bring them along. It is a family fun affair. This is happening at the Avenue, Peachtree City, of course, out there in Peachtree City. It starts at 4 p.m., so you got a couple of hours to decide if you want to go, and it goes on until 10 p.m. And if you looked at the weather forecast with our meteorologist, it is not that bad out there, so this might be a perfect day to go. Best of all, you guys, it is free. Another cool thing happening today is National Ice Cream Day, and there are a couple of deals that I want to tell you about because, you know, who doesn't want ice cream, but especially if you can get it for a little cheaper. So a ton of places have discounts and deals. All you got to do is call ahead, or if you want to get there and gamble, just ask at the counter. We know Dippin' Dots is doing something, Brewster's, Van Leeuwen, which you might not be so familiar with. It is new to Georgia, Ponce City Market, but as a New Yorker, we know and love it from Brooklyn. Also, Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream. They seem to be having a deal. And then what's so cute, your pups don't have to miss out because Petco may even be giving out free pup cups today. So my only question to you guys is, what's your favorite kind of ice cream? I told you earlier, mine is strawberry cheesecake. You got to put the rainbow sprinkles on it, and then you have to put it on a waffle cone. A sugar cone won't do. If you're looking for other events that you can get into around the area, all you got to do is go to our website or the Fox Local app. Our digital content creator, Joyce Lupiani, puts together a list every single week. And like I always tell you guys, it's very thorough. So whether you want to go to a concert, maybe you're a foodie and you want to get some good eats under your belt, maybe you want to do something more hands-on like arts and crafts, looking for a date night, something to do with friends, family visiting in town. There's a little bit of everything. Like I said, all you got to do is go to our website, fox5atlanta.com, or check us out on Fox Local. Just scroll until you see the Things to Do tab. Now, coming soon, if you can wait for it, this coming week is Buckhead Restaurant Week, and there are a couple of restaurants that will be having deals, cool dishes to offer, maybe even some sort of entertainment starting tomorrow, July 21st, and this will run until the 26th. So I gave you a little heads up on what Restaurant Week is like. Like I said, you will see some special pricing. You may also see new items, exclusive menus just for that week. Some of the restaurants that are on the lineup: Aria, Nantai, Buckhead, Gypsy Kitchen, The Southern Gentleman. There are many more. We actually have a full list on fox5atlanta.com, or once again, you can check us out on Fox Local. We'll probably be checking out a couple of these places this coming week. So that's a look at some of the cool things that are happening around our area. I'm going to talk to an expert pretty soon because, you know, we are 6 months after January 1st when a lot of us made resolutions. And if you're anything like me, you probably made a health resolution. And 6 months later, you're seeing that maybe you're not sticking to those goals that you set for yourself. And that's okay, because the middle of the year seems to be that perfect time for you to do a quick reset. So after this break, we're going to be talking to an expert on why this is the perfect time and what you need to do to make sure you're setting yourself up for success. Well, guys, welcome back into Fox 5 News Now on the Fox Local app. Quick question, moment of honesty. Where are you at in terms of your New Year's resolutions? You know, those things that you set back in January? And I guess maybe better question is, do you even remember what those resolutions were? Because if you're like me, you're thinking, back in January, you made a couple of health goals, and we're about the middle of the year, 6 months later. Maybe you're realizing that you're not exactly where you want to be, but good thing is the middle of the year is actually a perfect time to reset, account for all the things that you wanted to do, and start over. And we have Dr. Anoop Sharma here. He's the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare, Medicare, and Retirement. I think he is a perfect person to talk to us about getting right back on track with your 2025 health goals. Dr. Sharma, welcome to Fox Local.
Thank you for having me.
So I think we all could use a mid-year reset. We're halfway through 2025, but why is now a good time to reevaluate some of the things you set for yourself in January?
So in the beginning of the year, we all set goals for ourselves. And now is a great time while we are able to do this before the holidays hit to see where we are on those goals. And it's a great way to be proactive about your own health and have a great conversation with your healthcare provider, be it a nurse practitioner or your physician.
Okay, good to know. Speaking of the physicians, you may have a doctor's appointment coming up. A lot of us do those checkups once a year. What are some ways that you can set yourself up for success so that is the most productive and the most efficient visit, especially if you're not going to see them again for another year?
So what I tell my patients, when you're coming in for the mid-year check-in, this is your time to ask questions about what you saw, what occurred, and if there's any concerns you have. So I always advise them to write it down, and if their family members are involved, to write it down for them to make sure they get those questions answered in that time.
I think writing it down is a great piece of advice. I think about myself, sometimes I'm thinking about all the things that I want to get done with my doctor, all the things that I want to go over from the year before, and then you get into that office and you forget everything. So yes, write it down was a good one. In researching, I saw that there's also something called a mid-year wellness checklist. What is that and what should go on it?
So on that list is all the things that you were supposed to get done for your age. So depending on your age, if you're due for a colonoscopy, for an eye exam, if you haven't had your dental visit, all those things are really important to get those done. So if those are not done, that's the list that you can use to say, I want to make sure I get those appointments made. If there's referrals needed, you get those too. So that's a great way to make sure you're getting the care you need, and it's all preventative care, and it's important to get it done.
Dr. Sharma, while I have you here, just out of curiosity, there are things that you are supposed to do at around a certain age, but if you have any concerns about something, for example, let's say maybe you felt a lump or something like that in the shower, but you're not at the age where a mammogram is necessary for you. Are those things that you should try to get done during your time in the office too, to take advantage of?
Absolutely. It's your time, and to make sure you're using all of your healthcare benefits that are free to you. So to make sure that you have those conversations, but also have those set up.
Okay. And while we are talking about benefits, I know for myself, a couple of months ago, I was going through my health insurance and found that there are a lot of benefits that I have not been taking advantage of. I didn't even know that they were there. For example, I'm able to get a free gym membership. For some other people, it might just be discounted. What are some other things that you think people look past or look over, don't even know is there?
So for many of our patients, especially in the Medicare world, and even in the younger world, there are over-the-counter benefits. So some things like over-the-counter medications, like ibuprofen or Tylenol, those are actually covered with a benefit. So it depends on what's available in your benefits themselves. You mentioned the gym membership. It's a great way to utilize ways to stay healthy. So there's multiple different ways that your insurance company actually wants you to be better and healthier. So it's really to optimize your benefit, and it's all free.
Yeah, I mean, it is free. Technically, you're already paying for it with your job. You may as well
Exactly.
opt in for it. And I think mental health is also something that you may find you have discounts for if you look in the right places. So maybe those are some appointments that are worth setting up while you have them. Speaking of medications, because you brought that up just a few minutes ago, For our older citizens out there, just for people streaming with us that may be on a lot of different medications, what's a good way to track them and plan your care appointments before the fall comes specifically?
So you want to make sure either you take your medications in with you or you're writing them down so you know when you're taking them, when you're supposed to take them, and if you're going to run out. It's a great time to get your medications refilled also, but also to make sure you take in all the over-the-counter medications and the herbal agents. So many times people are taking supplements, and if we're not aware that you're doing that, we may not be able to guide you on the interactions that may occur with your regular medications.
I actually didn't even think about the supplements. I'm sure a lot of people don't either. But yeah, I guess all of that does play a role, especially if they're trying to prescribe you with something new to your body, and they should know everything that's going in. So
Absolutely.
noted. Oh, these were all really great practical tips. Clearly, a mid-year wellness reset is not that big of a deal. It is something that you can do. It's not only helpful, but obviously it's essential to staying healthy, productive, and organized. Dr. Sharma, thank you so much for your time with us. I feel like this was really helpful for our audience.
Thank you. And when in doubt, you can always ask your physician for any questions you may have here. And also, you can always go to unitedhealthcare.com for more.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much. For those of you who are streaming out there with us, don't go too far. We will get you a break, and when we come back, we'll have a lot more content ready for you. Welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray, and I'm here with our meteorologist, Alex Forbes. Alex, what can you tell us about our forecast for the day?
I'm bringing some heat today across north and central Georgia. What's new? Yeah, we've got July summertime heat. You got the humidity, and now we're beginning to see some showers and storms as well. So I'll take credit for the heat because I'm kind of a fan of it, right? It's the time of year for it. If this were September, I'd be complaining, but it is July. Wanted to bring you over to Fox 5 Live Viper. First starts you off in northwest Georgia. Saw some showers here earlier this morning, beginning to see some more again. Dade, Walker, Chattooga, Floyd, Gordon, Whitfield, and Murray counties. That's sliding down towards the south, so heads up Bartow County, Cherokee, Pickens, Gilmer counties. I think we could be looking at some showers in your neck of the woods in the next hour or so. Also south of Blairsville, really between Blairsville and Dahlonega this morning, looking at some pockets of heavy rain. That's sliding towards the Helen area here in the next few minutes, so something to be mindful of there. Then down on Lake Oconee, look at this in the last few minutes. Lake Oconee, Sinclair, yeah, just to the west of those lakes, some pockets of heavy rain. Not seeing any lightning with those just yet, but if I push this out, want you to look down towards the Gray and Milledgeville area. I am seeing some lightning with that storm and in that area. So something that we're going to keep an eye on here through the afternoon. I keep hammering the pool forecast because I think it's a fantastic pool day. All right, temperatures mid-80s now. We've got 90s on the way for later this afternoon, but of course it is going to feel hotter than that. Upper 90s are what the heat index are going to be, heat index values I should say, and we're going to do something similar each day over the course of the next 7. But today stands out because this is going to be our lowest rain chance over the course of the next 7 days. Tomorrow's rain chance up to 40%, 60% on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're looking at this, we're looking at the calendar, we're counting down the days until it's back to school. For some kids, that's 6 days. Our first district goes back on Friday. And I'm highlighting today as one of the best days to get outside and enjoy it. It is July. It's supposed to be hot. And in fact, since we have the time, I want to show you just how hot real quick it is right now. The temperatures, it's already 89 in Atlanta, 90 in Covington. But then boom, there are your heat index values. Hello, 106 in Putnam County now. Hopefully to get some rain, cool air down there before too long.
Pool day for sure. I think that's my plan after work.
Pool day, lake day. Swimming pool in the driveway, Dre.
Shoot the hooch.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Alex, so much for this forecast. Before you go, I did want to say, we have a lot of viewers on Fox Local who live all around Georgia, sometimes people out of state, maybe not even in this country, but specifically for our die-hard Fox 5 Atlanta viewers, there are a lot of people who don't always feel seen when we focus on the Metro Atlanta area, and they really appreciate your forecast because you zoom out.
Right. Yeah. You gotta push it out a little bit. Look, our mantra in the weather department is this: you are on equal playing field if you live in Eatonton, Thomaston, Atlanta, Rome, Woodstock, Sandy Springs. Like, we just go down the whole list. Everybody's equals, and that's the best part about weather is that we can kind of show everybody at once, whereas maybe on some other things we're not necessarily able to do that.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. And just to let our viewers out there know, we do have a Storm Team app.
Yes, the Fox 5 Storm Team app, extremely handy. So if your location is set to Atlanta in the Fox 5 Storm Team app, you are actually seeing the numbers that myself, David, Joanne, Jonathan, and Lauren all do. This stuff is not necessarily computer generated, right? We're over there in the Storm Center writing stuff down, figuring out what's going to happen. But that location is set to Atlanta, right? So if you set your location to that, then you're always going to get the forecast from us. The other neat thing about it, and I know people find this funny, is that David's voice is programmed for lightning. So you will hear from your pocket sometimes David Chanley yelling at you saying, lightning has been detected in your area. But jokes aside, that's great for when you're out on the lake, when you're out at the pool today, because if you hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning.
Okay, well, it's very important then.
Right.
So make sure you download the Fox 5 Storm Team app. And when we do have, severe weather hitting our area, if you have the Fox Local app, which you might be streaming with us right now, you will get alerts straight to your phone letting you know that, things are heading in your area, but also what you can do to prepare. So those are two great things that you can put in your toolkit. Thank you, Alex, again, for a look at your forecast. All right, you guys, let's get you your news of the day. Starting with a deadly shooting in Atlanta. We learned about this yesterday in a pretty prominent part of downtown Atlanta. A father to 12 children and 8 stepchildren was killed in a shooting. And it was killed in a shooting near the Greyhound station in downtown Atlanta. Now, some other things that you should know about this: when we heard about it yesterday, he had been shot twice in the face, once in the arm. He died at the scene. That victim has been identified as DeAnthony Reeves, and this happened along Forsyth Street in Atlanta. We did have our reporter Lindsay Tuman on it earlier. Yesterday, I believe it was Eric Mock reported from the Vigil, where family, friends honored his life, and we did get to hear from the victim's brother. Let's listen in on that side.
Free spirit, love to have fun. He's just like for the party. He loved. My Instagram up to almost 2,000-3,000 people saying they miss him, they love him, they sorry.
Another big headline that we have been covering that especially a lot of you who stream with us have been interested in. Atlanta rapper Cash Out was found guilty of the RICO charge as well as sex trafficking charges. That's a look at him right there in court. You may know him for popular hits like She Twerkin', Cashing Out, but again, he has been found guilty on several counts that include rape and sex trafficking. The rapper's real name is John Gibson. He was also found guilty, like I said before, on RICO charges. Now, the only thing is he was not found guilty on one sex trafficking count and aggravated assault. Gibson was arrested in June of 2019 during a prostitution sting at a Gwinnett County hotel. You may recall from our reporting online, he was on trial with his mother and I believe his cousin. The judge has set his sentencing hearing for Monday. Now, bad news, folks, if you are in the metro Atlanta area, 2 new cases of West Nile virus have been confirmed in mosquito traps in Fulton County. There have been 49 West Nile cases so far this year. Positive cases have been reported in northwest and southeast Atlanta, as well as Hapeville. So now what's next? If you live in Fulton County health officials are working with a mosquito control vendor to try to rid the area of mosquitoes where the virus has been detected. As for what you can do to save yourself, to stop the spread, we have a list of all the ways you can do that in an article posted online. All you got to do is go to fox5atlanta.com or look for it on the Fox Local app. Now, pretty big story for employees at the Atlanta public school system. Those front-running employees will be receiving a pay raise. So the first responder from those kind of jobs are referring to the custodians, bus drivers, and paraprofessionals. These are typically the people, unfortunately, that get underlooked. They are the most helpful people, I would argue, in our school system, but sometimes we look over them. But it does turn out that they will get a 10% pay raise. In addition to that, we learned that nurses will also be getting a little extra kickback. And if you are a teacher, you're maybe wondering, well, what about you? Well, good news. We reported in the past that they will be getting an 11% pay raise. So that is pretty big for the Atlanta public school system. Another story that we have been covering, a former Cobb County officer who died off the coast of South Carolina last week, and a GoFundMe has been created for his family, and it has already surpassed $200,000. So let me tell you a little bit more about this man. Chase Childers, a former Cobb County officer and father of 3, died while he was vacationing. They say that he jumped in the water. He rescued 5 swimmers before he unfortunately went under himself and never resurfaced. And so, not only has the community reached out to his family and been very helpful, but they have helped raise that $200,000 for him and the family. Now, what's kind of bittersweet about this entire story is that Childers actually received a life-saving award while he was serving with the Cobb County Police Department. And now, we can see why. He, in a way, sacrificed himself to make sure that 5 other people could go back to their families at the end of the night. Now, TSA is warning against a phenomenon called juice jacking. I don't know if you've heard of it, but if you are headed to the airport and you're running low on battery, you might think it's so convenient that you've got those USB ports right there underneath the seats. But TSA is saying that that is exactly how hackers can get your information. And so there are a couple of ways that you can help yourself. I spoke to an expert earlier today. Some of those tips that he gave us, rather than plugging directly into the USB port, opt for the outlet and use your charging block. That, for some reason, can make all the difference, the world of a difference, in hackers being able to get your information. Another thing that you could do, carry on a power bank, those mobile chargers. That'll make sure that you get the power that you need and the juice for your phone without the risk of having someone get your information. Worst part of it all is you wouldn't even know that it happened to you until it's too late until the money starts coming out of your account, passwords have been compromised. These hackers are really good, guys, so take heed to that warning. Another big story, Cowboy Carter was here last week. Beyonce had show-stopping performances, 4 of them, but after the performance, things went awry. We learned that an escalator at the Vine City MARTA station somehow malfunctioned some way or another, and multiple people were hurt. We spoke to one of those families that happened to be there at the time. Henry Dogan, he's a father and a husband. He gave us the traumatic experience, a look at it, by telling us what happened when he tried to sacrifice himself in order to save the rest of his family. Let's listen in.
Next thing you know, the escalator collapsed. It was a free fall. And it went down. It didn't go down slowly. It went down really quickly. All I could remember, or all I can think about doing, was trying to save my family. I tried to grab around and grab all of them. I was able to only grab my daughter and my wife, my 13, and my wife. My 18-year-old, she was up farther. And I whispered in my wife's ear as we was going down really fast. I said, get ready to jump. Because all I could think about, when it slammed into the ground, someone can die. And so as it was going down and as it hit the ground, it stopped. And everybody went forward, then back. So everyone tumbled on one another. My wife and everybody in the front, they tumbled on my leg. I heard my leg pop. It popped. It broke. And the people behind me, they stumbled onto me. My wife got injured. She injured her foot. My 13-year-old daughter, she got injured. And I tried to get up to help them, get their phones and stuff like that. But when I stood up, I fell back down.
Yeah, that was just a portion of the information that he gave us, that retelling the story of what happened. But long story short, when he waited on the ground for about 2 hours, found out that he had really severely hurt his leg. By the time they went home at the end of the night, he found out his wife was also injured. Now, the Dogan family says that they will never ride MARTA again. Not only that, but they are considering legal options against MARTA, because they say, there hasn't been an apology from the company, and that has been the most disappointing part of all of it. Now, I do want to get you guys back out for one last check with our Eli Jordan, who has been covering the exciting Atlanta Comic and Pop Culture Convention out there in Atlanta. Eli, I see you in front of the mystery van. What else do you have for us in this hour?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I gotta get some Scooby snacks over here, I guess, But now I had to show this off. You gotta love the mystery van, Scooby-Doo and all that good stuff. And then this is one of my favorite parts over here, though. Ecto-Gecko is the name of the reptile outlet that's, I've come over here on the cool end of the Comic-Con where they got all the cool animals. That's a beautiful little... I don't want to tempt the snake, though.
Oh, she's fine.
You might not want to be on TV, though. But we got nice little Komodo dragons, not Komodo dragons, but little dragons here. Yeah. It's like, those are cool. And that's cool. I know that these are snakes and stuff. Beautiful snakes. Beautiful, beautiful. It's all really cool. And that's a beautiful one there too. And I'm going to check something out. I'm being told to go look at this reptile over here. Oh yeah, we got this iguana right here. Just getting into all sorts of stuff. But that's, it's more than just, ooh, I like the tortoise here too. Sorry, that's just me getting crazy with the reptiles. But yeah, we got the Ghostbusters car here. They don't like me being around it with cameras because one guy with a car, the Knight Rider car, he yelled at me when he saw my camera because you got to pay money to take a picture in front of the car. But anyways, the never-ending story set. You can come out here and check it out. It's really cool. And then we have the Star Wars wing of it all. And this is where people have like collaborated together and they cooperated and put their Star Wars stuff here, all as in like one big world walk. You know, you get an aisle here. Oh, I just walked in on something. Sorry. But it looks like there's a game going on over here. And yeah, I'm just barging through here. Like, get out of my way.
Yeah, well, when you got a camera, they got to listen
But yeah,
to
this
you.
is like the Jawa Center over here. This is where you can like bring in your medals, and this is the scavengers of the desert, the Jawas and stuff. And,
Eli, this has been a pretty
really
cool look at what the Comic and Pop Culture Convention has to offer in Atlanta. We told people a little earlier that you still have time to get out there because it doesn't end until 5 p.m. And if you do choose to go when you're getting your tickets, go ahead and use our exclusive discount code. It is FOX. That'll save you a little bit of money on your ticket.
Yep.
Eli, you have done a great job of showing us all that there is out there. We got to speak to the Incredible Hulk earlier. We talked to a couple of different vendors.
Was cool.
Yeah, if you guys have time and you want to look back at our stream, it will live longer on YouTube. But I did want to come back into studio real quick. Hopefully you get out there and have some fun. But we do have to get you a quick segment with our you could say entertainment insider, Tess Hammock. She always brings us the goods of how you can get booked, stay busy, and make a little bit of money right here in Atlanta. We will have a closer look, and you can get a close-up for the camera with us on Casting Call coming up after this break. Hey, welcome back in, and as promised, I'm back with Tess Hammock,
Hi.
our entertainment insider, and we have a couple of options for you to make sure that you stay booked and busy.
Yes, ma'am.
And paid.
We love that.
All right, so Tess, let's get right
into it. We have a new project from BET Plus, Diarra from Detroit, which is a hilarious show. We watched the trailer, and I'm so interested in seeing this. This one's going to be for street party goers. They're looking for African American folks, all genders, ages 18 and up. That's what they're looking for. Now, what they're looking for is some specifics: grills, tattoos, bejeweled fingernails, all of those things.
What did we say they want
yeah.
dripped up?
Yes, yeah, exactly, just like that. That's perfect. And so those are some of the specs that they're looking for. And this one's going to be filming July 29th right here in Atlanta. So you've got a little bit of time to get ready for this one. This is, of course, a paid opportunity, which we love. We love to get booked, busy, and paid. And you can apply for this at HiltonCasting.com, and that's Hilton with a Y. So you're going to put HiltonCasting.com / listen to this, DFD, that stands for from Detroit. Yeah.
Gotcha.
BG for background, and then street party. So DFD BG street party. So that'll be a really good one.
Imagine getting paid to look like you're about to go to a party.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. But it's a street party too, so it's casual. It's casual.
Beautiful. All right, what's the next one you got for us?
Yeah, Deadly Diva. This is an independent film that's coming at you. So this is a really great way to kind of get your foot into the acting scene. They are going to be filming a court scene, so they're going to need anyone who can play lawyers, bailiffs, court stenographers, onlookers, looky-loos is what they called them, which is really funny. But you have to be 18 or up, any gender, any ethnicity. Of course, it's open. They're going to be filming Sunday, July 27th, and I love that we brought you one on Sunday because normally these happen during the week. A lot of filming happens during the week, but having something on the weekend opens it up for people who maybe do have a 9 to 5 and they don't want to take time off. This is perfect for you. Paid, of course, and you can apply at apply.castingalltalent.com.
It's funny how we just got really serious. We went from the parties to now you're in court.
Yes. Oh, but don't worry. We're going to have a little more whiplash here because we're going musical with our next one. This is for an unknown project, but they are looking for people who are in a band, either country or rock. Two of my favorites, and so this one's going to be really fun. They're looking for that guitar, the bass, the drums, the keyboard, the whole kit and caboodle. And they're going to be filming one day in late July or August, plus a day of recording, so really 2 days. You've got they're paid, of course, and you're going to submit a recent photo or photos linked to your previous work, and then your contact information. You're going to send all of that to extrascastingatl@gmail.com and put in your subject line, all caps, band.
This is pretty cool. If you already have a group of your buddies together, now you can be on TV.
I know, and you know what? We got one more quick turn to make. We're going comedy and we're going game show. Brand new game show. I'm very excited to get to work with this host. Michael Yo is a comedian out of LA. And he's super funny, but he's hosting a brand new game show called Scrambled Up. So if you're good at words and you like word games, then this is perfect for you, and you can win up to $10,000. So what do we do for this one? We are casting fun, energetic contestants, ages 21 and up. Normally it's 18, but this one's 21 and up. And you can go to scrambledup.com to submit your application. I hope to see you there.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Tess, one of the big things that got me with this one, though, is the prize if you were to win.
10,000 buckaroonies. 10,000 doll hairs.
Told you we were going to get you paid.
Absolutely. Listen, this is good. This could be good. This could be really good.
Now, for those of you who don't want to be in front of the camera, there are a plethora of opportunities behind the scenes or, just networking around Metro Atlanta area. Bring me one of those.
Absolutely. They're looking for an AV tech at the Gathering spot for their live events. Now, AV means audio-visual, and that can include everything from lighting to sound, and that's going to be a really integral part of making those live events come to life. And of course, they're going to expect you to have some of that experience there, but if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, go to thegatheringspot.applytojob.com, and there you can find this plus their other career opportunities there.
That's pretty cool. The Gathering Spot is awesome, by the way.
It is. It really is.
It's a great way to meet people, especially out in this industry.
Out in the wild, yes.
And so now, again, on to more networking events.
Yeah.
You've got one coming up, one cool one for the boys.
Yeah, this one's really great. So there's a Georgia-based production crew, two guys who I know and love, Dan and John. They're awesome. And they actually have been on Casting Call before. You may recall if you've been with us since the beginning. They created, filmed, directed Monster Summer with Mel Gibson, and they're back now with something for our young guys. Now, obviously, as we know, young guys ages 8 to 14, middle school age, they're not really interested in reading and they're not super interested in history. This seeks to change that. This is The Great Battle for Boys. It's a new animated series, a YouTube show, and it is based on a popular book series. Of course, this is, again, brought to you by Pastime Pictures, great group of folks. The mission of this is to make those boys fall in love with reading and American history. You can go to YouTube, the Pastime Pictures YouTube page, and you can find this, plus all of their other content there, but a really wonderful way. As your kids are getting back into the swing of school, you've got a couple more weeks before they head back to the classroom. This is a great way to kind of get their minds already working in that way.
That's beautiful. I love it.
It's going to be great.
All right, now Tess, normally we also take questions, and I know that there's a good way for people to get some of those out there to you. Can you share your social media?
Absolutely. Please reach out via Instagram at Casting Call with Tess Hammock. There you can find past episodes, you can find more information, some Q&A sessions that I've had right there in our green room where you guys we're live, I'm answering your questions. But then, of course, if you have a specific question, please just slide into those DMs, and I'd be happy to answer either there or here on Casting Call.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being
here.
Thank you. We will do this again next week, get you some more opportunities, but until then, we're going to get you a quick